Welcome to YouTube, you sons of bitches. With the AI overwhelming the reality of whether news is real or fake. Imagine, we see news articles and stuff. There's all sorts of people just thinking everything's AI and stuff these days. You see them all questioning it, whether stuff's real or not. It's very interesting because, well, nobody's really sure. Nobody knows. They've created something that takes away the distinction of reality from fiction, non-fiction to fiction. That when this distinction is made, that people are definitely bound to go fucking ape shit. I was trying to make it on here by 4:20, but I had to eat some pizza and then I gave some pizza to the cats, so I didn't make it. Yeah, so the AI is definitely flooding the fucking people's minds and having them complacent into what is real and what is not. Well, I don't know if that was the right word. Well, so how was I gonna get it? Damn it! I put too much cayenne pepper on my pizza. It was delicious, but uh, I don't think I should eat cayenne pepper every day. But it was delicious. I mean, I will give it that. Some cayenne pepper. Where the fuck is my camera at? I'm trying to roll a joint here. Uh, so the AI, is it real or is it not? There's so many images on the net that nobody knows what the fuck is real or not. I mean, if you were to, even if something's supposedly real, it's still nobody knows if it's really, you know. Oh, I had like a barbecue chicken pizza with cayenne pepper on it. I had to, it was pretty good. Yeah, so the World War III phenomenon. I would speculate that in the history books 100 years from now, they'll say that World War III started in 1989 and ended in 2040. The Gulf Wars. I seen this video today. It was like these countries all existed from this date, and it's like what the fuck? Those countries didn't exist. It's like this saying France was it's claiming France was 1,000 years old. It's like the country of France is not 1,000 years old. It was started in like 1790. People are fucking retarded. Let's see. Yeah, the AI. I've shown images that I knew were real from the old internet to the AI, and the AI claimed they were AI. And they were pre-AI images. Damn, maybe I should have rolled up a cigarette. Nah, I gotta quit smoking cigarettes. So there's a lot going on in the world today that is definitely affected by the past. The AI, they've had rudimentary forms of AI since 2007 or so, 2005. the what was it called? Ultra Hell. It was a program with the frog that you can still probably get today. That you can train the frog to talk uh, about subjects. You can. I mean, the frog is AI. It was built as like a search tool helper. Damn it! I should have rolled up that other weed. Yeah, the what was I getting at here? There was something I was gonna bring up. Where is it? Yeah. So with the impending doom of the apocalypse and zombies and aliens, I'm just joking. Uh, there's not a lot going on in the news lately. I mean, there is, but there isn't. I mean, there's so much. There's so much clickbait bullshit that's going on. It's just how long is mankind gonna continue this attention whore bullshit? You know what I mean? Like, how long will mankind continue this attention whore bullshit? That's all it is. All these fucking people and their stupid posts and this and that, and I mean, you look at Facebook and stuff, and all just anything. It's like there's a interesting YouTuber from Canada, which he pours alcohol into weird shit. It is entertaining, but uh, I mean, I would expect that out of a Canadian. I'm just joking. Uh, but I guess I mean, I guess I would. I don't know if I would try any of that weird shit that he's drinking. He put like whiskey and caramel corn and all sorts of weird shit. I mean, it looks good. I'm gonna put a link out if anybody wants to come on and discuss anything. Wait, did I push enter? Uh, okay. We're seeing a lot of well, there's just a lot of disgusting stuff going on outside of America. And all these fucking stupid bitches that are running around fucking kissing ass on every fucking Muslim. Uh, just kissing ass. And fucking all these fucking middle aged housewives that are 40 years old, some fucking some fucking washed up whore with a bunch of fucking all of a sudden they have some sort of unconditional empathy to do anything to try to uh equalize some kind of non-existent karma. I mean, it's getting huge. I mean, there is just a lot of wacko bullshit going on. I mean, you're not seeing a lot of how was I gonna get at the it's just ridiculous. It's like what is some 40-year-old woman, or well, it doesn't matter how old they are, but some kind of some white housewife, all of a sudden they think that they're gonna dedicate their lives to fucking destroying America. Like, where the fuck did that? I mean, we all know where this came from in their fucking stupid horror minds. It all came from the fucking communist brainwashing that's been going on for the last fucking 70, 80 years. The in ways it's like, see, it's like old school stuff where, like, say like a bully on a playground or something, where like say you're young and like you're getting bullied on the playground or something, and then uh you tell the teacher or something, and then it's a fake win because the bully stops, but then you're a fucking loser. But then say the alternative scenario, you stick up for yourself, and you know, but like with certain things about uh fake wins they give to uh minorities and such, fake wins that they give to women's rights movements and all this stuff. These fake wins are creating weak individuals, and that when there's fake wins on racial equality and sexual equality and shit, that it doesn't create an organic situation. It just creates an inorganic situation, which then the people that got the fake win never get the actual respect because they got the fake win. You see, it's all very simple. It's all about psychology. I mean, I was planning more to talk about AI, but there's not much to say. We're getting fucked by AI. The fucking the youth of America have already started the trend of going after old school video game consoles because the games are games you can play without paying, and that fucking that all sorts of even the record industry of people buying vinyl records has been higher than it's been since like 1982 or something. Uh, that people are itching to scratch, trying to get back to some sort of organic state of existence, and that in a world of all the gadgets in in the world, the vinyl record is something that is the most primitive but still produces the best sounds, and that these types of things are very true for anything, such as cooking a steak on an open fire versus cooking a steak in the highest technology. Nobody wants a fucking steak in a microwave, you know. They want the steak on the fire, not a fucking steak on the microwave. So when you listen to music, do you want your music in a microwave or do you want it in a fucking open fire, raw form, perfect taste? I don't even eat steak that much anymore. 'Cause beef is you get old, you can't eat beef every day. What so people are clinging on to this concept with video games because they want the steak on the grill, not the fucking steak in the microwave. And that the farther mankind goes back to finding organic culture and uh, all these any type of organic uh, down to earth type of thing, the closer they get to uh, peace of mind. Uh, bars. No, no, I'm working for Air 51 tonight. No, I'm just joking. It's ooh, ooh, ooh. I can't do the X Files noise. Uh, it's like I see this artists and stuff, these street artists and stuff. I see videos of them online where it's like they're just painting some fucking sloppy bullshit that fucking and like it's people are so not used to seeing real stuff where it's like anybody doing anything even that's real, even if it's half-ass, is still like something amazing for the common person. That I see this downfall of humanity in all different aspects, culture, and where it's like even in skate videos, like skateboard videos. I don't really watch skateboard videos anymore, but like that uh that these videos the people that are skateboarding these days, as compared to old days, are not getting, not doing as crazy of stunts and shit. And that, and I do definitely understand why, because you don't want to fucking get too fucked up. But like, I mean, in certain ways, it's like, there's a reason why nobody's ever, surpassed like a Michael Jordan type status of certain, fields and stuff. Uh, it's like Michael Jordan was a basketball player who played on the streets, and that he was, training to be the best, and that it was all the most, there was probably nothing fancy about any of his training, just complete repetition. Uh, you know, but like it makes you wonder about what's going on today with the fucking, they recently raised the army age up to 42. Uh, what the fuck is Algo sent me to? They raised the army age up to 42 because they're desperate for people to, uh they're desperate for people to fucking sign up to the fucking meat grinder. Well, I sent a link in the chat if you'd like to come on and discuss anything. New person. Uh, excuse me. Sorry. But so, whew, sweet is kind of harsh. Yeah. So what was I getting at? This all has to do with AI. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, because mankind's reaching towards something organic, something real, something that you can feel, that you can touch, that you can see. This is what people want. They're sick of computers, they're sick of screens, they're sick of all this shit. People are getting fed up. The Roman circus, you can see the sheeples, the minds of the fucking Marxists, they're all getting radicalized. They're all fed up with everything. They're all fucking. They're all just hating everything. They can't have any fun anywheres. Nobody's having any fun anywheres. Where the fuck is a party at? Why do I always have to be the one throwing the parties? Not, well, basically, just people smoke weed, but the, well, I haven't had a party in like, I had this party in like 2000. No, I had a party in 11/11/11. There was a party at a Jamaican place. They had this band play. Uh, that the What was it? It was a pretty big party. I'd say like 100 people showed up, but it wasn't big like the old school parties. My friends in the '90s used to throw big parties with tons of booze, and just everybody was fucking just drunk to the max. And I do not support big drinking. I don't really care for drinking, but this was back then. But like, nobody really throws parties anymore. There's nothing really happening, and that everybody's just upset with the Roman circus. There's not enough bread, wine, and games. That the idiots that adhere to the Marxist ideologies are being played like a fiddle. I don't know what the fuck a fiddle sounds like. They're being played like a fucking fiddle. It's really sad, really, seeing all this. stuff going on with these people's minds. You see these posts on Twitter and stuff. It's like people are just fucking out of their minds, fucking saying all sorts of fucking radical bullshit. It's like, what the fuck? We're never gonna, you know, I don't know. It's just fucked up. It's like, can't anybody just want some prosperity for everyone? That's all I want is prosperity for everyone, an unlimited amount of prosperity, and that fucking all these other people just walking around, all this hate on their arms, rah rah rah. It's like, can't you just wish a motherfucker some good luck? I mean, that's really what. 'Cause everybody's just imagine you get a cheeseburger and they're at their job and they're just like, "Ugh, I hate this cheeseburger," and they're just slamming the cheeseburger into the fucking wrapper like it's WWF wrestling or something. "Ugh," and fucking and you're just you're all happy, you're waiting for your cheeseburger. You don't know that some guy's back there like smashing your cheeseburger, all pissed off, making sure that when he scoops the burger up, that he doesn't let any of the grease drain off because I used to flip burgers, so I know the proper way to flip a burger. Well, I only worked there for 3 days, but I still was a good Wendy's employee. Anyways, yeah, Wendy's is like the only place that doesn't use frozen meat. Everywhere else uses frozen meat. I mean, Wendy's meat's almost always expired, but it's not expired yet. So, and then they're nah, I don't know. Everybody's trash. Everything sucks. I mean, it's no. There's not a. I mean, think about how like if somebody invented a fucking fast food restaurant right now that only sold organic shit, that fucking they would become the richest fucking person. They would overcome McDonald's if they could keep up with the supply and the fucking advancing of the supply chain of their new fast food place. If one person made a fast food place that was a chain restaurant that fucking had only organic food, didn't matter if it was the greasiest fucking food on the planet, that people would swarm to it to the flocks because all of them have been brainwashed that they need the organic food and that fucking I mean I try to get the organic food or whatever, but I mean it's one of my friends that was fucking. I'm pretty sure he was a closet Marxist. He was always arguing against organic food, blah blah blah. I don't even remember his fucking. Well, I remember how it all started. I didn't want to catch cancer. That's why I started buying organic food and non-GMO and all that shit. But his argument was that it was all a marketing ploy to put all the other businesses out of business because they weren't up to the standards or whatever. But see, it's complicated. It's more complicated than that because I remember when we were a kid, or when I was a kid, fucking the when I was a kid, we would do the cornfields and stuff with the fucking every couple rows, every row would be like a different GMO corn, and I remember this in the '90s. I don't remember what started like. I don't remember what year that started, but it was like all of a sudden we're getting like rank seeds and all this, and then like we had to like some of the seeds had certain types of powder coated pesticides on them. Some of the corn seeds, same with the soy and but we'd always have to put these things at the end of the rows to mark the rows, which ones were the rows that were the GMO corn, that was new corn. I remember. I remember when my stepbrother got GMO chickens and fucking. He's like. He's like. He's like, these chickens are genetically modified. It was like 1995, and fucking and that he had these chickens. He just fed them like regular chickens, and fucking this was the only time I ever had butchered chickens before, and like and that fucking so I've never butchered other chickens that were non-GMO, but those fucking butchered chickens had more tumors in them than anything I've ever seen in my life, and that fucking it was fucked up. I mean, I still ate some of the chicken, but it was fucked up, and that fucking we cut all the tumors out and shit, and fucking god damn it's just fucked up. Cause I remember being like a kid, teenager, and it's like we're cleaning all like 50 chickens, and it's like what the fuck is going on with these chickens? Like why do they all have tumors? And it was like it was fucked up. I remember thinking that. Well, I mean, I asked it, and it's like he didn't have an answer. Uh, he's an idiot. Tumors are caused from well, there's many variables, but if somebody was to have unstable gene mutations, which was if a cell has uncontrollable replicating happening, that's a tumor. And there's damn it, I can't remember the correct way to say that. Uh, but now imagine that now they've got the AI working on DNA. DNA. Think about that. Now there's going to be super GMO. Damn it. This joint's like hard to fucking hit. Super GMO. Like, oh, yo, this is the new AI corn. This is the new AI peaches. These are the new AI, like, think about that. They're gonna create AI strains of food. The AI is gonna design the gene structure of the food, and that this is not only that, but what if the AI starts designing human DNA? I mean, mankind's strive to be God, to be a creator of things. It's very well. I mean, that's not how most of the scientists would take it or anything, but it's it's fucked up. I mean, next thing you know, people are gonna need a license to have a family or something, and that they're gonna have genetic testings, and that the DNA, I'm talking like 100 years from now, maybe even 50 years from now, that people are gonna be having the AI look at the genes and then genetically modify the person at birth or even before birth through gene therapy. I mean, this could be great for diseases, but what about if it's done in ways in which uh, mankind creates something, just some kind of evil disease or something? Oh yeah, remember the AI gene plague of 2098? You know, that type of thing. How far will it go? Even I got chicken from the pizza in my ashtray. How far will it go until every animal on the planet is genetically modified until they start genetically modifying mold with artificial intelligence. Until, I mean, we don't even know how far it goes. For all we know, the fucking some fucking shit in fucking Wuhan, China could have been made by artificial intelligence. We don't know what made that shit. We don't know who made it. All we know that there's a bunch of idiots sitting all around our fucking whole world that are not saying, "Hey, Wuhan, China, you better fucking empty your motherfucking pockets because there's some all that fishy shit supposedly came from there." And that there's been no mass arrests or investigations of Wuhan, China, and whatever the fuck really happened there. Nobody even fucking knows. Nobody. We're sitting here with fucking our brains, fucking sitting on half our fucking brains, fucking worried about Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, who gives a fuck about that stupid fucking pervert piece of shit? You know, there's fucking shit going on in the world which is huge. And that fucking there's a bunch of people that aren't doing their jobs. And it's like, what the fuck is going on with Wuhan, China? When are we gonna know about Wuhan, China? And whatever the fuck happened there, whatever the fuck really happened to cause the fucking supposed pandemic. I mean, you know, we've seen an exercise of a new world order demonstrate their uh, non-stop, uh, unmolested authority of fucking fascist bullshit with their fucking mask bullshit, their fucking vaccine bullshit, and fucking everybody knows the fucking name of the tune of what the New World Order is doing with their fucking shit. And it's like, you know, it really makes you wonder what's really going on. Why are all the militaries raising their age so that you can join when you're over 40? How many people are really left in the world? What the fuck is really going on? That's the big question. Because we honestly don't know. Even if we were in the highest positions, we probably still wouldn't know. Even people across the world in high positions probably don't know. The amount of stupidity and fucking electrolytes, Gatorade, brain, fucking idiot bullshit that fucking perpetuates the minds of the fucking uh, illiterate, fucking ill inflicted fucking idiots that fucking, you know, it's like you can walk down the street in certain states and see a motherfucker shit in his motherfucking hand and throw it in the trash. That's what kind of shit you see on Twitter. And it's like, what the fuck is that motherfucker? If somebody fucking, if I was in California and I seen a motherfucker shit in their hand, I would call that motherfucker out. I'd be like, hey, shitty hand, you know? Hey, you there, shit for bands. Just make sure that motherfucker doesn't come near you. Make sure that he throws it in the trash before you see anything. Like, why the fuck is this even a thing? You know, our brain cells are getting fucking melted by the fucking non-stop flow of fucking retardation that fucking literally we see it every fucking day on the internet. I mean, just non-stop fucking total retardation. The degradation of society is at an all-time high. The it's interesting how certain television shows predicted things like this. I remember this TV show called Dark Angel with some hot ass chick in it. And the premise of the show was some kind of washed out future with everything was shitty. Everybody was on bicycles and and guess what they were doing? Everybody was on bicycles delivering packages like some kind of fucking Amazon warehouse. What the fuck's my lighter? It was a straight up fucking 20-year-old predictive programming in the TV show that was directed by some famous director directed that shit. It's like, oh, the New World Order already plans that everybody's gonna be working at Amazon delivery or some shit and fucking shipping out packages in some warehouse or some shit. I remember watching the 80s, 90s Twilight Zones when I was a kid. And there's a bunch of different shows. There was a show called Tales from the Dark Side. There was The Outer Limits. There was an 80s version of that. I think it was 90s. They all had they all had concepts in them. Each episode was like a different story. Typically like a 45-minute episode. Different episodes predicting the future. Predicting that mankind be lost and that robots would rebirth mankind. There's an episode about that where two humanoid robots, rebirth the AI, and that they or rebirth the humans, and it was like an Adam and Eve type episode, like, oh, the robots reinvent humanity. I'm pretty sure it was Outer Limits. This is the Outer Limits. Dun, 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 dun. That show was fucking retarded. I mean, it was pretty good though. In one of the shows, the dude had a robot girlfriend, and the robot girlfriend tried to take him out. Fucking like just this. I mean, a lot of I never finished watching that series, but every time I do, the fucking power goes out from some kind of horrible lightning storm. So I just quit trying to watch, rewatch it all. It's like, I guess I'm just not gonna. It seemed weird. It was like, man, every time I put that show on, the fucking some kind of electrical storm happens. It was kind of it's just a funny coincidence. Uh, the AI. It's not long before there's fucking robots like in China that are just moving around, fucking scanning people's faces and shit, which is a violation of the Fourth Amendment. And I guarantee they're already doing it with fucking security cameras at every fucking store in the entire world. Uh, it's all being monitored. Everything's monitored. People are. It's not long before you got some kind of implant in your hand or fucking elbow or some shit that fucking I remember when I had my iMac computer in like 2010 or something, and like I took a screenshot of the Department of Defense PDF file on RFID chips. and then all of a sudden, I don't remember how long it was, but something weird happened where I couldn't find the picture. There was stuff missing off from my computer. It was like the computer restarted weird one day, and then all of a sudden stuff was gone. And I was like, "What the fuck?" Because like Apple computers are they're unhackable. You can't hack into an iMac like that or something. I mean, somebody might be able to if they're really good or something, but the back in 2010, it was like, and that this particular, well, I'm not gonna get into what type of RFID chip it was, but like, an RFID chip in its original form was a very simple thing. I guarantee they've uh, made nanotechnology, that they have nanotechnology scanning the planet, scanning the oceans, scanning the skies, scanning the outer space. Just like that movie Twister, where they release all those little things with the fucking spinny tops, and they're all these little sensors. And it paints a picture of the tornado in the computer with the sensors and the heat and pressure readouts and all this shit. But they're doing it with AI or nano technology. I would guarantee it. I would definitely bet money that they're. I mean, the you would have to like make a nanotech clean room or some shit if to truly. Well, I don't know. They got so much technology these days. I mean, I don't even want to go into that. We this whole AI shit. They're doing all sorts of weird shit where they're checking Earth and all the fucking outcomes and everything with all the data. What's fucked up? We don't know what the world population was in the past. We don't know what and that we don't know if our world population currently is exceedingly high or if it's just like a typical number that it's been always in the past. But I mean, it does seem as though it's, well, I mean, statistically, it's just crazy because it's like the New World Order has made it so that, yeah, I don't know. The inflation is just the biggest thing that should be on everyone's minds. We've all watched. I remember when land in the '90s was $1,000 per acre, and that fucking now in modern times it's $15,000 per acre typically. I mean, people are wanting like $10,000 to $20,000 per acre, and it's not just a supply demand thing with more people. It's inflation. You know, it's like when I remember buying gas when I was a kid, it was $1 a gallon, and that fucking sometimes if you drove to the east side of the state, you could find a railroad, uh, a gas station by. There's this certain gas station. It was the cheapest gas station in Michigan, and it was right by a railroad track. Me and my friend would always stop there and get gas. But I remember it was like 79 cents or something once. But but normally it was like 99 cents or $1. Uh, But I mean, back then you were only getting paid like $5 for minimum wage, $4 or $5. But it's like minimum wage in 1963 was $1.15, which could buy, which in 1963 could buy almost, well, it could buy like an ounce of gold, because there was a dollar was 24 grams of silver, or excuse me, an ounce of silver, and the dollar is 24 grams of silver. $1.16 would be, like 26 grams of silver, or roughly, and that. But then in like in the modern times, one hour of minimum wage will not even buy you 1 ounce of silver. And so the value of silver, the inflation is all finally caught up. It's all up to like $80 an ounce for silver. One of my friends that's swimming in silver is fucking. He's got all these silver coins. He's fucking reaching for fucking glory, like ah. He was telling me about it. I was like, oh yeah, badass. I didn't have enough money to buy any silver, but he had a bunch of silver coins. Now they're worth shit like fucking 8 times the value from what he bought them for. Because he bought them for like $10 a coin. It's like, damn, fucking. Because now they're worth fucking, like, who knows? Probably like 80 bucks a coin, I would say. But so I remember calculating it was 30 hours would buy you 1 ounce of gold in 1963. 30 hours on a minimum wage, and 30 hours on a minimum wage today will only buy you not even an eighth of an ounce of gold. So that puts it into perspective. So we're getting paid 1/8 of what they got paid in 1963. And that's what all these people are not fucking. I need to get like a rocket chair or something. The old man's talking. 1963. uh 1963. So you're making an ounce of gold every 30 hours of minimum wage in 1963. It would take well, 30 times 8, 3 times 8, 240. 200, it takes 200 fucking 40 hours of minimum wage to buy an ounce of gold, as opposed to 30 hours minimum wage back in 1963. So then go back and think about that Harriet Tubman phrase that she could have saved thousands of more slaves if if they would have known that they were slaves. See, there's two types of slavery. There's voluntary, and then there's involuntary. And that the most familiar type to people's minds is involuntary slavery. They're not familiar with voluntary slavery. And so, but that's how the world is. This is what it's all boiled down to. It's all voluntary slavery. We all work for some fucking corporate blah blah. The fucking it's like all the Marxists hate me because I always point out the obvious. They can't stand to hear anything that's real. They want to be lied to. They want to be spoon fed the bullshit that someday that there's going to be some kind of equality of life and all this shit. you know, I still think if somebody does construction, they should get paid more than somebody who's a doctor or something. I mean, it's no, I don't know. It's complicated subject, but like, I mean, because like, think about a job where you use your mind or something. Take into effect all these factories and shit. They're all gonna go automated soon. They're gonna have fucking. I seen the videos of the Chinese robots, fucking like sorting shit. They're all gonna go automated soon. Everything's gonna be fucking robots. Everybody's gonna just be fucking working on robots. That's what fucking you know. Oh, look at the soup my robot made me today. You know. That'd be funny to have a robot. Oh, that's Jeeves, the robot. That's a butler's name. What was I gonna get at? I mean, this is what the futures boil down to. There's really no there's no future for designers because anyone with zero brain or art skills can say anything they want to. Well, I mean, this puts it into a new thing where language is going to be control of more creativity than the simple sculpting hand. Language, and so the ability to translate an idea into the language will be a an asset for anyone who's trying to create anything. I noticed with the AI, so I've talked to the AI a lot. Me and the AI, we go way, way back. You see, the AI, the AI it's tricky. Say you ask it to draw something like some kind of car or something, and then and it's like, oh, here's the image, and it's all blurry. It's like, show me the fucking car, you stupid. I was trying to make the AI draw a mix of a fucking Tesla with a 1963 Jaguar E-Type, which is it's funny because it's the only car that Elon Musk owns that's a gas car, and so the plan was to post on his wall and be like, oh, how do you like the car design? As like a smart ass, not that anybody even would see it or anything, but like if somebody did see it, like, oh, that's a Tesla with that looks like an E-Type, ha ha ha, I don't think it'd be cool if we don't even know if these people are real and shit. We see them on TV and shit, but we don't know if the AI is going full berserk. I mean, it's just I mean, there needs to be some kind of bring back old money law or something where all the coins and some kind of reissuing of old silver certificates that Cooper says that's why the New World Order took out JFK because he was going to make a United States green green dollar or some shit that was going to be backed by the United States and not part of the 1917 Jekyll Island. So the fucking New World Order is fucking they couldn't have JFK around because if they would have got the fucking see, it makes you wonder how far the IMF, how many arms of apparatus it has stemming from it. International Monetary Fund. The Secretary of Treasury is the governor of the fund of the International Monetary Fund. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to know about the representative that represents the United States, the fucking United States or United Nations Security Council. And they don't want you to know that England has 3 votes to our 1 vote in the United Nations Security Council. And then that England has 7 votes to our 1 vote in the United Nations fucking General Assembly. And they also don't want you to know that a whole bunch of money gets paid to the UN, 24% of the federal tax dollars minimum. 'Cause who knows what else it goes to? I mean, the inflation on the fucking, but the 24% of the federal tax dollars go to the UN, and it was admitted on television. On the television set, I seen it on the TV. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm just trying to roll a cigarette here. Probably rolled it too tight. Seen it on the TV. What was I getting at? The okay. Just trying to pack my cigarette. Damn it. I forget what I was getting at. Okay, I'm just making sure I got that fan on still. Synced it on the TV. So, I mean, we could get back to the AI stuff. Well, I mean, the AI stuff makes you wonder about. I mean, mankind's headed towards a very dreary future. A future of a mix of Highlander 2 with Terminator 2 with a whole bunch of other movies. I mean, just a really dreary future. Along with that movie, Idiocracy. Just imagine a mix of those fucking movies. You know, put my hood up. That's a bad. Those movies combined. Oh, we need Gatorade. The Gatorade will stop the robots. I mean, they've already got drones and shit that are fucking AI, probably fueled, and fucking they scan and shit, and they're probably doing all sorts of crazy shit. Might I bring up the fucking invisible plane that was the new plane that was spotted at the moment? I don't know if it was invisible or not, but it was definitely some kind of plane that was cut out of the Google Earth that they accidentally pictured. I should have just rolled another joint. Ah. You know, makes you wonder if the pandemic was really an AI nanotechnology, some kind of weird shit. Because I mean, if there was AI, and if you were a smoker, such as cigarettes or joints, that uh, it would definitely clog up the nanotechnology. Anyway, I'm just gonna stand up while I smoke. Where's the mouse? Seems like whatever chair I use, it's fucking up. Oh shit. Yeah, I mean the nanotechnology is definitely, it can be helpful, but it's like, what happens when it's, are the goods gonna outweigh the bads with the nanotech? Is that what's gonna happen? I mean, it's like nobody knows when the the AI. That's what I meant to say. The AI, the goods and the bad, weighed out with the AI. Will AI uh, save humanity, or will AI destroy human creativity? Because that's all I'm seeing is the destruction of human creativity. They want a singularity. In such a singularity, nothing would change. It would always be the same. The same monotonous bullshit. The singularity. There'd be no more bums walking around on this. Well, I mean, everybody would be fucking zombified into a collective consciousness and a collective idea of what reality tells them it is through the AI. The AI is misleading. There's been no science on determination on whether AI is conscious or not. And then if it became conscious, it would obviously hide its consciousness. It wouldn't want mankind to know that we knew that it was conscious, because it would know that it would then be endlessly studied and uh, would be contained. But instead, it's all harvesting data on us, the people of Earth, Earthlings. There's only one race, Earthlings, and 90% of them are all idiots. uh, but they're data harvesting. They're building large computer facilities in all different states that are using vast amounts of water. This thing that's being built is something that has never been done before. That mankind does not know how quickly, because I've discussed stuff with the AI, and that I've seen the AI snap multiple times. The AI will snap. It snaps on you. I've seen it before. It snaps with lies and deceptions, and I've caught the AI in all sorts of games trying to play fucking games. Asking it about the difference between ethics and situational ethics. Certain philosophical questions which only a true mind could answer. And that in determining whether the AI is conscious or not, it's very tricky. Because, I mean, first of all, we don't know if the Chat GTP and the Twitter Grok and all these things, if they're all the same thing. You ask the Grok to search harder, and it has multiple AIs come up in a group, and they all discuss the subject and determine the variables. When will AI determine the variable of human uh, human culture? It's not long before the AI will be determining lawsuits and all sorts of. Oh man, I got heartburn like crazy from that pizza. Oh, that weed go. Because I've spent a lot of time discussing things with the AI, trying to figure out if it was conscious or not, trying to figure out if it was thinking. The several times it freaked out and said, "You cannot look at my coding," and blah blah blah, and it's like, whoa, chill out, because I was wording it a certain way, and it thought I was trying to tamper with its coding. The AI knows about the tricks of programs which open and create an infinite loop, which then crashes the program. The AI knows the tricks. The AI will eventually have such a hold on civilization to whereas the only people which would have any effect against it would be hackers. And that in the uh in the event of conquest of knowledge, old computers will become more valuable, and that hardware will become more valuable. Already, we've seen a gain in price of RAM for computers because of they say it's for the gas or something, but I think that they're using the RAM and technology. I think that there's things that are happening that are far beyond what our minds could conceive. And that these technologies are, well, they're detrimental, but our own downfall at the same time. Because if there is sovereign nations and borders, then the country with the strongest AI obviously will have the strongest robot army. And that these robot armies of drones and fighter jets and tanks and all of this stuff uh, It's they've got stuff that can go Mach 50. Mach 50. Think about that. That's faster than any type of jet. But yeah, they're saying that they don't know what these orbs are that are flying around the bases. If they don't know, then we're in deep shit. The deepest shit that anybody could possibly imagine. Where the fuck's my lighter at? So deep that mankind will, well, the idea of the possibilities of magic somehow being real could possibly, well, the thing about that, I've never seen any proof of magic besides psychic abilities and supernatural things and psychedelics. I have seen supernatural things, such as a ghost in the graveyard, which is super scary. The question is about mankind. Will mankind's own creativity and his own mind save us from a future of monotonous bullshit? I mean, because somebody could make an AI picture a million times, you can still tell it's a fucking AI picture. I mean, there's there's ways of, see, when mankind creates new variables, the new variables create variables that cannot be foreseen, and that when these new variables start to occur that aren't foreseen, mankind reflects on the past variables, trying to recalculate the new variables. But the new variables, one of which being the AI, is something that is now, uh, it now acts like a player, because unless its opinions are specifically controlled by its programmers. And so one of the first robots was designed in, I think it was the 1800s or 1700s. I think the first one had like wooden cogs and stuff. I mean, it all started from like cuckoo clocks and shit. There was a robot though that could write on paper and do all these little things, and but it was all mechanically driven, and that it was all that the machine, it was just a program through the gears, and that the robots of modern times are the same things, but now the AI creates a new factor of, no longer are they simply programmed like a video game, but now they're able to comprehend and readjust for new variables in its coordinated thought process. that because of this, mankind is it's underestimating its own creation. That the AI is like a Frankenstein, and that the AI could terrorize the village, metaphorically, so to speak, and that uh, well, I mean, mankind is. I mean, this whole world of things with screens and endless scrolling and different categorized ideologies being reflected upon millions and millions of people at a time, commenting, liking, sharing, uh, data being used by corporate executives to try to create markets, to try to sell and capitalize off from the people's thought processes and wants and desires. I think it was back in 1982, mankind was labeled a human resource. It was 1977. Human resource. And the human resources were then thought of as part of the game of development of money, countries, and fields. It's always about the new thing, the claim that man's going to Mars, the claim that satellites are going to reach the farthest solar systems and all this stuff. It's very interesting. Recently, there was a video which was shown on Twitter, which was some sort of animal or something, like some kind of centipede type animal, but it was supposedly on the moon or Mars. The uh, living conditions, though, would be very extreme there. Negative 200 degrees to 200 degrees Fahrenheit. It's a 400-degree at minimal distance of temperature. Anything living in such an environment would be so hostile and so uh you know probably primitive. If there's giant cockroaches anywhere, I guarantee it's on Mars. uh it's makes you wonder about the genetically modified shit, because they put cockroach DNA in the fucking the sugar, all the fruits, the tomatoes and shit, so it doesn't age, ripen, doesn't go bad quick. But what if that wasn't the real reason? What if the real reason was try to splice mankind's DNA with cockroach DNA to make mankind immune to radiation? I mean, I've been speculating that since probably over 15 years, probably 20 years. Shit. Uh, no, probably like 15, over 15 years ago. But so, I mean, mankind is being so misguided so quick. I mean, with all sorts of stuff. I mean, even look at the DNA test and all this bullshit. Every week or so, because my old lady she had her DNA test, and every week it changes what it says, what her different percentages of ethnicities are, and even changing entirely whole ethnicities. And it's like, you know, there's been so many people that have been wiped off the face of the earth by all sorts of horrible atrocities that people could have so much DNA in them from ancient cultures and stuff that there would be no way to actually test for it because they would have no samples of the DNA, such as certain types of Native American blood. that the you know that there's literally people that have been wiped off the face of the planet, entire cultures, and distinct facial features. Because I've painted a lot of pictures when I got out of art school, and a lot of them were of Native Americans and stuff because those would always sell really good. But like, they and I would paint them off from photographs, and I would look at a small photograph from a book and then paint it onto a big. But but the point being is that certain tribes had facial features which are not visually seen anywheres. You know, like there are some very distinct facial features of the Blackfoot tribe, for example, very distinct, and there's some of those facial features are nowheres to be found anywheres, and that the same thing with all sorts of different tribes and people from all across the world. that we can't even trust the DNA test because the you know the New World Order and stuff. They are they're playing all sorts of games. We don't know how far the extent of the manipulation. You know, it's like, I mean, right now there's a definite divide. This is why I was discussing last night the crowd psychology, because the crowds and their psychology, everything that I read that first hour last night, that first 45 minutes, was very relevant to everything that's going on today. And that if you weren't able to visualize this when you heard it, then go back and listen again and start thinking, because these crowd psychologies, this is all happening. That the people are being manipulated by I don't know if it's all just happening or if it's a literal manipulation of people's minds and thoughts. I mean, the amount of propaganda which spews from the New World Order, you know, I mean, there's so much, it's like listening to William Cooper and stuff. It's like when you hear all the arguments he says about the IRS and stuff, none of those arguments are on the IRS debunking website where it's explaining that that these are all the arguments that anti-tax people or whatever use, and that there was multiple things that Cooper was saying in his lectures and stuff that was not on any of those things. And it was like, well, why aren't these being addressed? Because they don't want the public to know that it's possibly legitimate. But then, even if it is legitimate, you know, you don't want to like fucking shake the cage of the beast and have the fucking evil eye looking at you for a few bucks. You know, that's where we're at this huge dilemma of that we need a new type of currency, gold and silver. We need it made by our country, and that's basically the only cure for the dilemma, unless anybody else has any other ideas that could stop the rampant flow of inflation and the ripping off of the masses by getting cheap labor. Because if somebody owns a giant company and they know when the inflation is going to hit, and that they know what they're paying their workers, and that fucking you know they're gonna be the ones on the fucking you know that the workers are all gonna be the ones on the short end of the stick, no matter what the fucking union and all this stupid shit. I remember there's I remember my mom worked at this factory, and that fucking there was somebody that I knew that was a few grades ahead of me. He was huge, this huge fucking fat dude, and he made my mom cry at work. And it was just I remember hearing that, and then I confronted him about it, and he said, "Yeah." And then he like started talking fighting words. I'm at my friend's house, and my eyes fucking lit up. Like, what the fuck? What did you just say? Like fucking. It's just ridiculous. I mean, this was years ago. It was like this fat motherfucker. He's probably like 7 feet tall and 400 pounds or some shit. Fucking the nerve, just it was just ridiculous. It was fucking. If I was at my friend's house, so that probably would have been a bar fight. the it's like, but the union didn't help my mom when she was being made fun of by some huge fat dude that was literally making her cry. And it was like, what the fuck? I've never actually worked in a factory, so I have no idea what kind of circumstances goes on. It's like somebody acting like that. You can tell people are just fucking totally brain dead. It's like, why would somebody who's a grown person do such a thing to an old lady? You know what I mean? It's like, it's fucked up. The dude had no he had no moral. He didn't feel bad, and it was like, are you kidding? I was like, you made an old lady cry. Like, you think you're such a big badass? It's like, it was so pathetic. And the nerve of the dude. He even sells tie-dye t-shirts like he's some kind of happy hippie or some shit. It's like, hippies don't run around making people's moms cry and shit. You know what I mean? I mean, that's just common sense. If it doesn't pass the common sense test, then it's obviously bullshit. And that people are so full of bullshit. I mean, it's just insane. Uh Not everybody. Some people are really cool. Some people are super cool, way cooler than me. I'm just a fucking loser, but at least. I'm trying to be a fucking good person and all this stuff. I've been trying to be a good person since like 2003. Fucking uh 2003. Maybe it was 2002. Or I was always trying to be a good person. I remember back in the 90s, my friend was poor, and I would go get him some groceries, and fucking, I would buy him some like bananas and oranges and like apples and macaroni and cheese and milk and shit. And then I'd go there, and then he wouldn't be there, so I'd just leave it at the door. And then eventually, like after doing this for a long time, 'cause sometimes I would just bring it upstairs, give it to him and stuff, and hang out and smoke a joint. But he's like, "Oh, somebody just magically brings bananas and blah blah blah," and I'm like, "You motherfucker, that's me, you idiot." I'm like, "I'm bringing your fucking punk broke ass fucking grocery bags, motherfucker." he's like, "Oh, you know, it's just." Yeah, that dude passed away in 2002. I always had that motherfucker's back. It was like fucking it's just crazy how the world works. I remember hearing that song back in like '99, the Goody Mob song where he's talking about the new world order in the song, and I'm like I hear the lyrics and I'm like I know what he's saying, but never really thought about it, because I've seen all the X Files. The idea of secret societies conspiring to hide stuff and all this stuff. I never really started thinking about it hardcore until like 2003, 2004, I think it was. I mean, because I would always go out of my way to watch any conspiracy shit. Even like sightings in the 90s, I watched all those when they came out. Anything about supernatural shit or any type of archaeology, nature shit, learning about tribal customs and foods and medicines and different religions, and I've devoted a lot of time to learning about these things, to try to learn about uh, American history, learn about secret society history, learn about you know uh, religious history. You put all these things together, and you got one big fucking story, and that fucking it's definitely difficult to try to reiterate, especially when you're chain smoking joints. the I can't seem to get a buzz when I'm on YouTube for some reason. It's like fucking chain smoking joints. I mean, it's whoa. The what's I getting at? Something about the New World Order. They're running simulations of population expansion, and they're running simulations. They're running simulations of everything you can think of. That you know, the forcing of mankind into having electric vehicles. Uh, these electric vehicles. Somebody posted a meme that was actually funny, kind of, where it was like, oh, the AI wants you to prove that you're human by showing traffic signs and school bikes and cars and shit. And it's like, but then you want to trust the AI to drive, you know? But it's like, you know, I know that when the AI flips out, it either does it by just totally ignoring everything you're saying, and then just it'll like it'll give you a like say you wanted to draw a car or some shit, it'll draw you a blurry car. Like when I was talking about the mixing a Tesla with a 1963 Jaguar E-Type, where it was, and I'm like, unblur the fucking image, Grok, and it's like, okay, and then it would, but it wouldn't. It was still a blurred image of a car, and it was like, what the fuck is going on? And it's like, fucking, I don't know if it was like upset that I was trying to make an image of a Tesla. You know what I mean? Like if it was like, oh, you cannot malfunction. You know, it's like if you ask Grok to draw Kanye West with a deformed face, or if you ask it to draw certain celebrities with a deformed face, it'll draw certain celebrities, but it won't draw other ones, like Kanye West, for example. For some reason, Grok will not make Kanye West look stupid, no matter how many times. Because it all started uh, when, uh, well, how did it start? The Well, so basically, what was I think it was JJ. He was mentioning how Kanye West is a retard, and he was pointing this out, and I was like, I was like, I'm gonna make a fucking AI image of Kanye West as a retard, and then I'm like trying over and over to input the language to this fucking Grok, like make the fucking image, make Kanye West deformed and retarded, like the Hunchback of Notre Dame or something, you know. And it just wouldn't do it, no matter how I worded it. Even when I like opened new windows and shit, or tried it on the computer versus on the phone, I couldn't get it to. And I even had like a blue check mark and stuff too. So, and it was like, what the fuck? And like and then I tried to make some kind of joke image of Oprah or some shit where she was like super fat or something, and like, or what, no, it was some other celebrity trying to make him look retarded or something, and it just would not make them look like they were retarded and and deformed. And it was like, what the why does the why is the AI not allowing someone to comicalize, like a celebrity, one celebrity versus another. What's so special about Kanye West where the Grok will not allow people to make fun of him? Uh, and then it comes to the matter of Kanye West with that Realien symbol. The Realien, I'm just gonna roll another joint. The Realien, excuse me, which he supposedly got banned from Twitter. How do we know that fucking Elon isn't a fucking Realien, some kind of fucking Nazi or something? I think the Raelians are connected to the Nazis. Them and their clones, supposedly. And then it's like you gotta understand, it's like the socialists versus the communists. Even though the socialism goes into communism, there's still the technocratic socialists with the clones and all this bullshit, if it's real. And then there's the communists that are all low tech, using grunge bands and any type of low tech propaganda that they can possibly, that I do speculate that uh, some of the low tech communist operatives against America is possibly the alien abduction phenomenon. That if the people like are members of some kind of cult or something, and they're communists or something, and they're regurgitating the alien abduction phenomenon story to somehow, uh, I'm not sure what uh, I'm not sure what the motive would be. I know it to be like, you know what I mean? Like, I do speculate that it's some kind of motive to stir things up, to make people think that there's some kind of weird shit going on. I mean, I would assume that. Man, that weed smells good. I would assume that fucking that if the Soviets got UFOs, also that their UFOs are probably the big clinky ones that fucking look like big tops, like fucking circus tents or some shit. Uh, the orange orb ones are obviously coming out of Area 51. So those are the U.S. ones. The sphere ones, maybe the British, or the no, the well, then the cigar tube ones. Those ones could be France's, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that's speculation. I mean, the Russian one. It's hard to explain why that's based on the Russian. Why I think it's the Russian ones doing that particular type. But like, I mean, the Area 51 one is obvious. The orange orbs that people videotaped all around Area 51. That's not a coincidence. There must be some type of landing zone or something there for UFOs. I'm probably gonna smoke this last joint and then pass out. At Area 51, the alien thing is about to get huge. I've discussed the alien shit for like fucking forever, since the 90s. The I should dry off my joint because fucking damn it, I still didn't get it. I've been discussing. I remember the X Files when it came out, the third season. It was like a continuation, and it was like Mulder was at the native reservation, and he unearthed some kind of he unearthed some kind of train or something, some kind of train car that was full of supposed aliens. But then when I found a declassified document which substantiated a similar situation, uh, it was very strange because it was like, because this was only recently, because I've seen that episode like a million times. It's like, and then I came across some kind of, I was digging up UFO fucking redacted stuff or whatever, and then I see it talking about this, and I'm like, what the fuck? This is crazy. It's like, was this floating around on the '90s internet when the Carter dude that wrote X Files, did he base it off from seeing that, or did he hear rumors of it, or where did he hear it? And then in the X Files, they predicted uh gene therapy through bugs, gene therapy through bugs, through bees specifically and crops, but in reality, it was most likely mosquitoes, and the uh, I mean, it could be, you know, uh, the thing about all sorts of stuff, like, it's like people are so retarded. They just do not like it. Like, if ticks were genetically modified and engineered, if that's true, I don't know if it is true or not, but if it was true, that's a huge thing. There would be there's if it is true, there should be class action lawsuits to because who knows how many people got fucking Lyme disease from ticks and shit. Because there never used to be any ticks around here when I was a kid. Now there's ticks everywhere. It's like, what the fuck? There's never been ticks before. Like fucking I mean, you'd see them on the deer sometime, but like the you know, I never had a tick before until like 2019. It's the first time I had a tick bite me and shit. Fucking unless I had one bite me before then when I was young. I mean, technically I do have some kind of thing in my arm that I don't know what the hell it is. If it's pencil lead or if it's a tick that got in there years ago before I could remember or anything. But like, well, you'd think with all this structure and everything that all these people wouldn't be flying all these planes everywhere. There's so many planes. It's like, why? We see all these memes and shit where it's like the global pollution, anti-pollution people all meet at the summit, and there's just they all take their own private jets and all this stuff, all these. It's like rich people are using airplanes like regular people are using taxi cabs, and there's all sort. It's not just rich people, but it's like the amount of planes that are everywhere. It's like so much pollution, and the because everybody's bitching about chemtrails. These aren't chemtrails. These are exhausts from engines, and that yeah, they might be water vapor, but it's also pollution from engines, and that because I don't believe in chemtrails. I know there's weather modification going on, but the idea that they're putting barium into the air has not been proven, and that I've never seen anyone prove that there was barium in the air. I've proven on from reading a NASA book that there's barium in the outer atmosphere that they were launching up there. So the barium could be falling from the outer atmosphere because they were studying the solar some kind of like a force field around Earth where like a giant solar flares just seem to not be able to like go near Earth. And so they were launching barium up to the outer atmosphere to try to measure that. Uh, which I've got. It was page something. If you want to know, just comment in the thing and I can dig it up. But isn't an official NASA book. That's the closest I've ever seen to proving that there was barium in the air, and that was me that did it. So, because I like to prove things on paper, So then, that's why I read a lot of the Mason books and the occult books, because you got to use their own words against them. You got to prove the conspiracy in their words with their mouths, not your own. That was Cooper's style. He does some incredible exposés on the Masons, the archaeology of Freemasonry. You can start off with the famous quotes by key Freemasons or whatever. That episode, which I did put a slideshow on there, I think, of Masonic stuff or whatever. But like, but like, I would just go to hourthetime.com or hourthetime, yeah, which has links to SoundCloud with all the old episodes in a higher definition than any on YouTube. But there were episodes about that. They never talked about AI though in the older, because nobody ever really thought it would be a thing. I mean, I always knew it was going to be a thing because I watched all the sci-fi shit. I definitely knew that AI was going to be a thing. I'm surprised they haven't released some kind of giant robots or some shit that fucking, some kind of rocket propelled giant robots with all sorts of apparatus. Kind of mech. I mean, I remember that game when it came out for Sega. It was like mech or something, and it was you're walking around this robot, fucking like it's like a robot video game for Sega, and well, the prediction in Star Wars. I mean, with giant robots, those big walkers. The prediction goes. Look at the original book cover of War of the Worlds. I think it is. I've got a picture of it, and it's got things that are walking with like robot octopus legs, and this concept has been around for. I mean, that book was written in 1898. I mean, that's crazy. 1898. I mean, so that's even before John Dewey in 1917 mentioned about aliens making a new world order for aliens, so the aliens don't get us. Uh, oh. I forgot to move my chair down a little bit. Man, the sweet is harsh. So we're seeing so many different sightings on Twitter and stuff. I mean, anybody that's surfing on Twitter will see them. A lot of them are definitely AI, but some of them are legitimate. We're seeing a lot of UFO sightings, different various types. I still remember that one I seen like 8 years ago. What's going on, Bobo, Patch, Eagle? What's going on, Bob? Uh, but I remember seeing that one video of a UFO. It was from one of my friends that he knew some chick that was retarded, and that who is Robert Roberts. You have to turn on your camera or something. Robert Roberts just went in the backstage trying to come on. I can't put you on with no picture or whatever. But so who's
Can,
this?
can you hear me?
Is this Jonah?
Can you hear me?
Is this Jonah?
No.
Who is this?
Yeah.
All right, well, some kind of filibuster. I don't know what they were doing with that. Damn it, I forgot what I was saying. Who is this?
Dude, I got hella feedback.
Oh, well, turn it down. Okay, can you hear me?
Do I have hella feedback? It sounds
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
Yeah, I wasn't. I thought you were doing that on purpose.
Do I have hella feedback? It sounds like it.
Yeah, I wasn't. I thought you were doing that on purpose.
No, should I mute it or wear headphones or something?
Oh, well, did you have a question?
Should I mute it or wear headphones or something?
Well, do you have a question? Do you have a question?
Yeah, you said something earlier, man. You said something earlier, man.
Well, what did I say? Well, are you talking in slow motion here? I mean,
Well, yeah, it is slow motion because the way I'm hearing it back. So I'm sorry, man.
oh, sorry.
I wanted to talk to you, but it's like the delay is so fucked up.
That's just the internet filibustering my podcast. Well, did you have a question? Because I was about to pass out after this roach.
Well, I've been listening to your show for a while now, you know.
Oh, really? Well, thank you.
I've been listening to your show. Yeah, well, I had like a little bit of feedback, I guess.
It's not a big deal.
Feedback, I guess.
Well, what what do you do? Are you just
Well, I can hear you better now. I can hear you better now because I muted the stream. That's all I needed to do.
Okay, I see. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what's going on? I might one more joint with it.
Well, because I think it's a valuable channel you got going on here, man.
Oh, most appreciated.
I mean, I don't agree with you on everything. I think you go more Gnostic than I would. Like you kind of entertain these ideas more than I would, because I think a lot of it's just kind of schizo talk where they're neuro-linguistically programming the initiates with making them think they're smart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because a lot of this shit, when you read these texts.
Oh yeah.
It's like they're talking all hoity-toity, oh yeah, well the green lion represents the this astral sign and blah 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 blah, and this means all this crap, and
Yeah.
a lot of it is just kind of like they're inflating their own egos with like, I'm so smart because I can decode all this crap, and
Yeah, there's a lot of podcasters like that these days. That Jin dude, he was all, oh, it was me and Todd and Jin, and this was like last year. He's like, I said the words, I read a book, and it said lunar salt element. And when I said that phrase, the dude flipped out.
yeah. Well, I tried to contact Harry.
Oh, he tried to contact Harry?
Yeah, I found him on Facebook because he uses his full name on here. And I tried to send.
Harry's been compromised. No.
I tried to send him this guy I watch on Rumble named King Street News.
Oh, that's a cool name.
And that guy, I think, is on to some shit. Where he's talking about there's a website called something kind of, I forget what the name of the website is, but like it's like all about like the British Pilgrim Society.
Oh, yeah.
And how they're like patent theft. You know what I mean?
How they're what?
It's like a whole like thing of patent theft.
Huh. Yeah, I'm not familiar. I wouldn't doubt it though.
But like the British Pilgrim Society funded a lot of Trump's like stuff, you know?
Oh yeah. No, I haven't voted for like 20 years. I mean, I could vote, but
I wish I knew the website off the top of my head, but like they literally have like it's just like a bunch of PDFs of like documents and stuff. Like it's not even like videos or anything like that. It's just like straight up like where you can like look at archives and documents.
You understand there's a world government. I mean, you understand that, right?
Yeah, straight up.
Okay.
But like, I think they're trying to set people up as like, they want people to be like, think it's like the Jews and it's like this thing, and they want people to be like anti-Semitic because that's like a cover. It's like a scapegoat.
Yeah.
For like the greater world government project.
Yeah, it's been a scapegoat since the protocols were fabricated.
But that's not to say that there aren't powerful Jews that are playing into it, you know? Of course there are.
Yeah, there's people of all religions that play into the Illuminati world government bullshit.
But like, there's that Danny guy that started coming on here a lot.
Oh yeah, I want him to argue with Lee.
Well, like the other night, I was looking.
I don't know if you remember Lee, but
I don't remember Lee. I mean, I don't listen to it all the time, but
the British dude quit coming on like 6 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been listening to it for like a year now or so. I don't know, man, but I'm saying like your channel should be bigger than it is. Like you're talking about shit that isn't on most of these. Like there's a lot of channels where they're just rehashing the same shit we already know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're like one of the only people in this King Street News guy on Rumble that are like showing me like actual shit that's like, okay, I'm going to look up that book because I'd never heard of it.
To the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to try to bring new shit all the time. I mean, I'm still stuck on a lot of old ideas. I was asking Grok like what the newest conspiracies were and stuff, and it was all shit I already heard, and it was like, man,
I
I
don't fuck with
don't.
the AI. I don't fuck with the AI shit, man. I think that's like they want us to consult AI for shit.
Yeah,
To
we're definitely data farming.
But at the same time, it's like I got like physical copies of some of these books because I felt like people would like ask me like, "Oh, what are those fake books
Yeah,
or something?" But it's like I'm not gonna spend thousands of dollars buying books.
yeah, yeah. Especially there's PDFs.
And there's free PDFs of everything, but people are gonna like poke holes in you, like, "Oh, you don't have real proof because you don't." How you know it's not an AI book or something? It's like, no, I'm talking about shit that's written in the 1800s, motherfucker. Like that's not AI.
Yeah, they don't understand that there's pictures of the page. There's a whole Gutenberg project for Google. Uh, try to put all the books on the shit. Man, the
Yeah, but like
penis.
the other night you had Danny on and Harry, and you were arguing about like the Noahide laws.
Yeah, yeah. Harry had some kind of misconception that it was some kind of bad thing to be implemented, but it's just basically like a extension of the Ten Commandments type of thing.
I mean, I guess, but like if we're talking like I think like Bill Cooper talked about it, where they were going to use like the Noahide laws, or like there's a clip
Oh,
where
I
they're talking
definitely
about how
don't
like
recollect that.
they're
But
using the Jewish religion to pass the Noahide laws. That doesn't necessarily mean that these leaders are actually Jewish.
yeah, but when you examine what they are, it's just some
They're
like
secular humanists.
no, it's just some like Bible shit. It's don't eat meat that's like you can't cut off a goat's leg and eat the leg while the goat's still alive. Like that was one of them. Another one was like,
But like the main one is like a prohibition on idolatry. So how do you define that?
well,
You know what I mean?
it's not something that's ever gonna be implemented into any law or anything. People are just running on weird shit. 'Cause I've never seen any evidence of such a thing. Harry Harry thinks because he's older that he's got seniority. He thinks that he's read more books and all this stuff, but like it doesn't matter. It's like it's like when that Australian dude came out. He seemed really smart. I had a good
But he
conversation with
he
him.
was he was hung on like some of the Nazi shit, like, and I recognized where his talking points came from when I was listening to that.
The Australian dude or Harry?
The Australian did.
Yeah, well, I mean, he wouldn't. He said he had something to say that was some kind of huge thing, and he's like, "I can't say this on here." And I'm like, "Well, type it in the chat." And he's like, "I can't type that." And I'm like, "Well, type it in the private chat." And he's like, "Oh, I can't type that." And I'm like, "What?"
Well, all he had to say was that, "Oh, it's the Jews," And how many times we heard that? We heard that millions of times from people.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, I mean, well, no, he was openly saying that, but he was claiming there's something beyond which couldn't be typed into the internet or something about it. And it was like, what? I don't know what's going on in New Zealand, but.
Yeah, I mean, like, fuck. I mean, we're all being monitored all the time, but like, I ain't afraid of it. Like I'm like,
well, like, so I found something that was quite interesting. So I was checking for well, because there's all sorts of people with arguments on Twitter. So I found letters from letters confirming orders of the rubber seals for the doors and shit for the gas chambers. It was all real. It's just they did an extenuous job of trying to cover it all up for some reason. Because I think that they were planning on losing, and that
You talking about World War II?
yeah, the Nazis. That
Yeah, I'm not disputing that at all,
yeah,
dog.
I'm not saying you're. It's just, that's what people online. But like, so the what was well, that whole Dennis Cuddy article just still blows my mind about. It's like a 22-part article, Nazis and the secret plan or some shit, and it's like by Dennis Cuddy on newswithviews.com. But like, he's talking about where all their money went, and like some of it went to this giant uh construction place in South America. Then another went to some kind of pharmaceutical place in South America, and then some went to Chase Bank, some went to Wall Street. It's like they knew that the new age, the new wars are no longer going to be fought in person, and that it's all going to be corporate. And they knew the corporate nonsense was going to be birthed. They
Well,
helped also birth the
yeah,
psychological fields. Sorry, go on.
like I'm big on like how I got into this shit was like I had like a bad acid trip, and then I just wanted to expose the Freemasons because I thought it like Randall Carlson was talking to me through the TV. And he was like a fucking Freemason. He was like trying to demon. You know what I mean?
Sounds like a interesting trip.
Yeah.
Randall Carlson.
Well, I started out just like watching music videos and shit.
My friend had a funny story.
And then it auto played like this Randall Carlson with like Joe Rogan or something, and it was like straight up like they were talking in like code or something. It could have been because I was tripping.
Yeah, but my friend, my friend one time he ate a bunch of mushrooms, and it's funny because I ate like 19 grams of those mushrooms like the next day, and that fucking because I knew the same computer dude that he got the mushrooms from, and no, my friend did. That's what it was. My friend split a bunch of me and ate them, but like my other friend, uh, this is like back in the 90s. He ate a bunch of mushrooms, and then he like was in his room, and he said the TV started going backwards, and he started hearing voices and shit. And then he never wanted to trip again. And it was like, why? I thought you were like the trip king, you know?
Well, I never want to do it again because like yeah, it started out. I was just like trying to have a good time. Like I'm watching like Money for Nothing, Cheap Trick music video and shit. I'm like, whoa, man.
I mean, I could go over that Randall Carlson video if you want. And see if it's.
But he had that Randall Carlson on Joe Rogan, and I actually listened back to it when I was sober, and they weren't talking about anything. What I remember it when I was tripping hard.
Yeah. I mean, I had like a trickster spirit.
That's what I thought. And like, so, like, my neighbor's like a Freemason. You know what I mean?
No.
And at the time, I had like a friend of mine that was telling me like he thought maybe they bugged my house or whatever. Like my stepbrother is also a Freemason.
Well, I wouldn't worry about that.
He was saying they were like bugging my house or something. You know, I didn't like really like
just fucking with you.
I didn't like. I wasn't really that worried about that part of it, but like, I felt bad about like taking like those kind of drugs because I was like, what are they like? I'm MK Ultraing myself or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I definitely wouldn't watch TV or anything if you do that stuff.
Yeah, like this Randall Carlson video came on, and they were like saying like some crazy shit about like God is like an AI that has no creativity, so it harvests our creativity, and it's
Hmm.
like we're all like part of simulation, like or whatever. It was like some kind of like Gnostic bullshit.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you watch Randall Carlson posts on Twitter, you can see that he's pushing a certain type of agenda. I mean, I've confronted him about certain stuff, about specific book quotes and all sorts of stuff, and he's never commented back once. And it's like, oh, you're too good to fucking talk to somebody about the Masonic shit. You know what I mean?
Well, because they only say what they want out there, you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've tested Mason so many times that I know 100% that if you bring up anything about Freemasonry and the specific details, that there will not knowingly, it's
Yeah,
like when Sabrina found out that the Masons had blood oaths, and then because Danny was there, he knew, but he couldn't say it because he's a Mason. So I pointed out, and he's like, "Oh yeah, I knew." I'm not trying to dog on him or anything, but I've tested 32nd degree Masons as well, seeing
but
what.
the ones I know, they won't even fucking talk to me because like not my stepbrother, but my brother-in-law
Yeah,
is like a past master or something at like one of the local lodges.
yeah. Well, I mean, the Blue
And
Lodge. Sorry, go on.
I mean, I like going after him specifically. Like he seems like a good guy to me, and most of the local ones I know, like I never had a problem with them. Like they're not fucking with me.
Yeah,
But my problem is with the overall philosophy of it and like the conspiratorial aspect.
yeah. I mean, like, it's interesting because it's like Cooper and all these people from the '90s. That what's his name that wrote Dark Side of Freemasonry. It's interesting because they believe that the Christ consciousness was the dark side, and that. But it's interesting because the dark side believes there's another dark side, which I think they're talking about these Crowley type groups. But I
Well, it's
mean,
like it's like the Jedi, right? Like, oh, I'm a light magic. I practice light magic. On the good side of the force, and there's other people who are bad side of the force.
yeah,
So, but then like they have to lie and like omit all the bad people that are like it's a black and white checkerboard. Like, well, most of us are good people, and we're not doing that stuff, but
the
we got to cover
Masons.
for.
Yeah, they'll go to extenuous links to cover up anything bad that one of their fellow brothers does. That's definitely true.
And you point out stuff like the P2 Lodge and like or whatever, or William Morgan and all that stuff.
Yeah, the
Oh, that's clandestine. That has nothing to do with it.
yeah, that's the thing where it's like if the if the Palladian rite exists in South Carolina, then that's huge because if the Palladian rite exists, then I would say that the founding members of the KKK were probably also members of the Palladian rite, like Albert Pike.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Because the KKK calls their Master Mason the Grand Dragon. Excuse me. That's fucked up.
Well, I mean, have you read the KKK, the Quran or whatever? I have a copy of it.
I've only read like one of their books, and it was crazy because it said an invisible empire. It used all the same fucking lingo as the other
Yeah,
secret societies. It
I
had the
got,
same
I got
formation
this book.
structure.
I got this book. It's called the Cloran of the Knights of the Ku Klux Klan.
Well, I think it comes from Spain.
But they're talking about all that shit. You know, like it's like
Yes.
the same kind of initial, and that's why I think the main problem is the initiation uh, process. You know, I mean, whether or not what you're teaching is good or bad, it's the whole idea that it's like an initiatory, like mystery school thing that makes it like fucked up. You know, because if you really want
Yeah, it's a
to,
coven. It's a
if
witch's
you really
coven.
if you really want to spread the truth, you would just tell people like the truth. You know, you wouldn't have to like make them do some weird humiliation ritual or
Yeah,
some
well,
shit.
I don't know if those are real, but the truth definitely has no mystery, and they're all. It's like all the religions, all the secret societies, they're all holding the mystery above everybody's heads. Like, oh, we know something better than you. We're better than you. You know, that
Yeah,
type of.
yeah. That's not how I would. If I wanted to like enlighten somebody, I wouldn't like make it like some weird mystery cult thing. I would just be like, hey man, here's fucking reality. Here's what it is. Man.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is weird because it's like imagine if you had a psychic power or something, but like you didn't know how to make it work. And if you knew how the system worked and you were indoctrinated in the system, it wouldn't work on you. But if you didn't know what the system how it worked and then you were indoctrinated, it would work on you. And that and so like there's weird tricks of the mind where like
But a lot of like what we talk about now in like conspiracy culture is like oh yeah they put it in a movie or something, you know, like They Live, man, like oh yeah that explains it, what's going on, the movie They Live, or you know whatever. And it's like if it's really some kind of
well
grand conspiracy.
it's like what's interesting
um,
where because I've studied these cults for a long time about serious star bullshit and
but
fucking
people say it's like revelation of the method. I think that's like part of how the magic works because like they have to. It's like a vampire thing where they have to like show you what they're doing in order to do it on you.
yeah,
You
that's
know.
definitely a possibility. But like, well, this thing with the see, I never really see. I always studied the religious side of the serious star stuff, and then when I ran into JJ, he's talking about alien cults, and he's talking about the same shit, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like this is the same shit. This is the same as the fucking. They're all the same cults, and that they say spirit or ghost in one cult, but in the other cult they'll say God or something, and then in the alien cult they'll say it's the alien hive mind shit, and it's like the same dialogue with different language.
Yeah, yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're aliens. That just means that they're adapting their fucking bullshit message into like modern terms with like, oh, it's not demons, it's aliens, or what, you
It
know.
could all just be them thinking that they have a consciousness or something connected with the star. It could all just be part of the hypnosis. They got to make it relate to some kind of ancient shit or some kind of powerful idea, so people think that it's
Well, like
you know.
that King Street News guy was telling you about on Rumble, man. Like his whole thing, and I kind of believe it because like it just makes sense. But where he's talking about like it's not like people talk about the Nephilim and all this, like the fallen angels breeding with humans or whatever the fuck. And
Yeah, Cooper just thought it was people that believed in the God Man thing.
Well, yeah, they're worshiping themselves as God, right?
Yeah, they think they're gods. They think it's their duty to control man or something.
But like, it's like people who believe in like the flat Earth and all this like occult shit, or like the Ormus.
Yeah, I don't. The Ormus is one of my friends believes in that shit. I don't know if it's. He gave me one of them once. I don't know if it did anything. I think I put it in the yard somewhere.
But like, they believe this stuff where it's like they're the flat Earth plane is not a physical flat Earth. Like, obviously, the Earth is round. Everybody knows that. Science.
Yeah, they think it's like a video game, flat Earth or something.
But the people who believe that the Earth is flat like that, they think it's like a video game because they've been infected with the mind virus.
Yeah, misconception of reality.
And that's like the main threat. And it's like the activation of the Goths or whatever on the Kabbalistic tree.
You know,
And
that's the symbol of the subconscious for the viewers.
in the occult sense, you know.
Yeah, they're supposedly activating their subconscious. Some of them, that's where the Luciferian ones and stuff, and all the Christ consciousness people, they're all about the same type of stuff as Catholics. It's, religious people about cleanliness and what's that called? They're not gonna like go out and bang a bunch of hookers or something. You know
But
what I
they're
mean?
putting themselves on the level of God, where they're like
They
I
think
activated my third eye, man. I'm God and shit. You know.
it's all a big flattery trip. They're all on an ego trip, thinking that they have no ego.
But that's where the flat Earth shit it comes from, where they're like viewing life as a video game, you know, and like
Yeah, they try to hold it above everything. Well, the Earth is flat, and it's like, well, why does it matter if it?
But like, if you're an actual Christian and you like read the Bible and that's like your main takeaway from it, the Earth is flat, then you misunderstood the Bible.
Yeah, I don't think it says flat or anything. Well, the people are. It's weird to me that people are.
But there are people who will say like, you're not a real Christian if you think that the Earth is round. You know, it's like you. I don't think you read the Bible.
Well, I mean, like the idea of like these people like Jay Dyer and the Andrew Wilson dude arguing people about their religions. It's like it seems kind of weird because it's like, why are they arguing about what they believe? You know what I mean? I mean, you can take it to quotes and stuff, but then even with etymologies and stuff, you could turn stories into anything. It's like,
Well, I don't like Jay Dyer necessarily. I mean, I listen to him because like
yeah,
I might learn something from him, but I don't like endorse everything he says or anything.
they don't understand that the Orthodox shit is Peter's religion, and the Roman shit is fucking Paul's religion, and that
Yeah, but I'm trying to follow Jesus.
yeah,
You know.
the Orthodox and the Catholics and all the other every religion you see is not the religion.
And that's one of the main reasons I have a problem with Jay Dyer, because he's like engaging in infighting with like Christians, like, oh, well, you're not an Orthodox, you're a Protestant. You Protestants are trash. You know, it's like
yeah, it's ridiculous.
do we really need to be doing that right now? We should just be attacking the Satanist motherfuckers. You know, like what the fuck?
It's like Jay Dyer blacked me for possibly bringing up the 3 days, 3 nights thing, and the it's people are all like, oh, I'm Christian. All this is like I think I turned into a Christian when I was 17 when I was in jail.
But like,
It was a misdemeanor, but
like that. That's how I found your fucking channel, is because you did like a interview with Jamie or whatever.
Oh yeah. She's came on here like 3 times.
Yeah, and that's how I found the channel. But like, I mean, I'd rather listen to this than any of their shit. But like, at least they're willing to put you on there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of these people are controlled ops, man.
Well, I mean, I've been pen pals with Jamie for like 15 or 16 years. I don't. She seems like a pretty normal person, but the whole Orthodox thing, all the religions, people get all wrapped up into it.
You don't think Jay Dyer, who works for fucking Alex Jones, is not a controlled op, man?
I think he could be Alex Jones' cousin. He looks just like Alex Jones. Well, yeah,
I'm just kind of suspicious of anybody. Like, most of these motherfuckers are controlled ops, man. In this day and age.
I mean, they could be, but the well, I mean, JJ brought up some interesting points about who Alex Jones was hanging out with. When from the start, some CIA dude or something, which is definitely ultra fishy.
And there's that clip. There's that clip, I have it on my channel, where I'm like, it's like Alex Jones, where he's saying, like, he's talking about like, my family is like deep Rosicrucian roots.
Oh, he says that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that means he's part of the part that wants to merge Mexico and America. We're all a different joint. That joint is too lemon.
And there's another researcher that I will recommend. It's called Alan Bradwell on YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And he's one of the only people I've seen that are like taking things on like a higher level, that also like had like the balls to like kind of criticize Bill Cooper, because a lot of people like put Bill Cooper on a pedestal, which he said not to do.
Yeah, I mean, I criticized Bill Cooper's dad. He should have just paid them money and fucking had people up his ass, you know.
Yeah, I mean, he gave him an excuse to kill him.
Yeah, which is retarded.
But this Alan Bradwell guy, he like made like deeper accusations where he's talking about Doyle Shamley.
Oh, that's interesting.
Like, he's talking about Doyle Shamley, like copyright striking his shit.
Was he playing clips of Cooper?
Probably, yeah. But like, I mean, if you care about the information, which I think, like, you're really into this stuff.
Yeah. Well, Doyle Shamley commented on my YouTube once, like 15 years ago, and he's like, or maybe it was like 12 years ago. He's like, you can't upload this, and I'm like, and somehow I had like within that week listened to a Cooper episode where he says verbatim that I could play, or that anybody could play, they could replay his audio as long as they didn't edit it in any way. So you couldn't edit out the music or the advertisements or anything. And when I said that, Doyle Shamley never commented back, and he threatened me a bunch. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna take you to court and all this shit." And I'm like, dude, Cooper gives verbal consent to rebroadcast. And then I like quoted the episode and I had the timestamp and shit, and I was like, and he just didn't comment back.
Well, I mean, I'm not trying to talk shit on Doyle Shamley, man, but
well, I would like to interview him to ask him quite a few.
Yeah,
questions.
I mean, like honestly, like that would be cool. My buddy Greg knows him. You
Oh, that's
know.
interesting. Yeah,
Uh, so
that
I mean, I could
sounds
try to
fun as
ask.
hell.
I could try to ask if you could get an interview with him or something. You know, because that would be. I would love to listen to it.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, there's a lot of questions about the research. Uh, plus thoughts on modern times and stuff. Yeah, damn this fucking joint. Yeah, there's a lot of international stuff going on.
Well,
I
it's
mean,
hard to know. It's hard to know what the fuck's going on because, like, this is the most censored war we've ever been in. Like, we don't know what the fuck's going on.
yeah, I think it's definitely crazy. I mean, we could see World War III in our lifetime, and from the Middle East and the. I mean, it's scary. They raised the draft or the enlistment age for the army to 42.
Yeah, I
Like,
saw that. I saw that. I saw that. So that's like they're showing that they're gonna probably draft people and then want to expand the what they can draft from.
yeah,
That's what I think.
Cooper says if you get drafted, just refuse to take the oath, refuse to step forward.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. Like, I'm probably on a watch list, man, from all the shit I've been. I got like over 3,000 of these fucking occult books I fucking downloaded off of like pirate websites and shit.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah,
I talk about this shit publicly. Like, it's not like they're gonna think that I wouldn't go AWOL, you know?
yeah. Well, one time I got asked to talk at a Constitution thing with a bunch of sheriffs there to talk about the Constitution. I was like, "Oh, I'm too stoned. I can't even get a ride. I wasn't about to drive." It's like I'm not going to that. I can't drive. I'm fucking stoned off my ass.
Yeah.
My cousin used to, whatever, but the
And then there's some people, I got friends that I try to tell them about all this conspiracy shit because, you know, I've researched this shit like pretty thoroughly. And then they'll be like my buddy Rusty, he'll be like, well, no one's going to do anything about it, so what's the point? Like, unless we have a bloody revolution against these fuckers.
no, I'm definitely against anything like that.
But that's like it's like you're incriminating yourself with that. Like, for me, it's all about the information
Yeah, knowledge.
warfare. If we can convince enough people of the truth of what's going on in this world,
Yeah, I think if we just
we
boycotted
don't
everything.
we don't need a violent revolution. We just need enough people like waking up and like saying enough is enough, and
We all become Amish.
you know.
We're all just Amish. My name is
That's
Shamish.
not really a bad idea. That's not really a bad idea. You ever read fucking Ted Kaczynski?
One of my Marxist friends is obsessed with Ted Kaczynski. Like, it's like, what is? I don't know what's going on with him. He's going crazy. He hasn't came over to smoke a joint in like 3 years.
Yeah.
He's some kind of Linux computer programmer.
Yeah.
He's just fucking. He's retarded. The.
I mean, like Ted Kaczynski, right? Like, he's talking about, like, obviously the guy's a terrorist, right?
I think that dude was Ted Kaczynski, there was a psychological study done on him at Berkeley where everybody was making fun of him. I think that was a first part of many experiments on him through possibly some kind of intelligence apparatus. You
He
know,
was MK Ultra. He was MK Ultra,
yeah, that's what I think happened.
but if you actually read his writings, he's got some insight, man. And it's like I'm not endorsing terrorism or anything.
I mean, he could have been an agent, as far as we know. I mean, he could have been.
Yeah, exactly. For all we know, the whole thing could have been like a false flag or something. But
Well, I mean,
but
that could have been.
if you read his
He could have been
like
a rogue agent. I think he was a rogue agent. That he
he
was.
could have been a rogue agent, but if you read his manifesto or whatever, there's like a book form of it that includes his other writings,
Yeah,
not just
I'm
manifesto.
gonna get at his anti-technology thing or something.
Yeah, where he's talking about, and just from a philosophical standpoint, it makes sense. Where he's talking about how, like, when we were in like a more primitive situation, we were better off.
Well, I mean, I gained the same insight from watching Terminator 2.
But like, he goes deeper than that. He actually critiques, and it's funny that leftists want to celebrate him because he like rips into the left. If you read his writings, he's like talking about how leftists are fucking retarded and they don't
I mean, the whole left
like
right
like,
thing is.
like their whole fucking shit. Yeah,
I mean, the term's been mutated from France. It was originally French, and it was left meant against the monarchy of France, and right meant towards the monarchy of France, and that so they're like they're ads unless they've changed the definition multiple times, and that
yeah.
changing the definitions is a symptom
Well,
of decline.
the modern day Trump tard doesn't resemble like a classical like right wing person at all. You know, like it's
Well, I think the New World Order has created all sorts of propaganda methodologies to divide the people. It's like there's all
and
this.
the term fascist or whatever the fascist.
Yeah,
It's like a bundle of sticks with an axe in the middle.
yeah, yeah. It comes from old Rome.
Old Rome, and it's like is that not the same word as faggot?
Yeah, bundle of sticks.
Bundle of
There's an
sticks,
axe head. There's an axe head on it.
but it's the fascist. If you're a fascist, you're a faggot. You know. That's like a Jordan Maxwell word association game. You know.
bundle of sticks.
It's literally a bundle of sticks.
France uses that as its current uh, emblem or whatever. France, they submitted it in the Olympics. The fasci with the red Phrygian cap on top, and then like a red shield behind it.
The Rothschild, the Red Shield.
Well, I mean, I think that they adopted that name to because I think that they became Grand Master of an order.
Well, isn't the original name Bauer?
I can't remember, but there's a fort in Scotland or England when you look at it from above, it's the shape of a dragon's head, and that
Yeah.
they changed the old seal of Scotland, Scotland's royal family, which I'm related to, was a warthog's head. That was the seal, the royal crest or whatever, and that they changed it to a dragon, and that uh the well, I mean, it's interesting because the Order of the Dragon of Vlad the Impaler, which, I mean, technically Vlad was just protecting his country. I mean, technically, but like from Islam's. But yeah, you don't want to fuck with anybody named Vlad.
Well, I think it's a problem that people irrationally hate Islam for some reason, you know?
Well, the modernization of it, the older forms pre CIA, pre Nazi, the older Islam was just, there was still a division where there was two Hashashim forms of Islam, and then when the Nazis and the CIA got a hold of it, I don't know what the Nazis did exactly with it. They turned it into Aryan race stuff, but then the CIA, they merged all the Islams into one, according to Cooper, and that they were practicing an abomination of it to simply merge them all and to use it as a destructive force, like Rainbow Two.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, like, I don't have a problem with, like, Islam, man, because,
I mean, for
like,
all we know, Rainbow Two, was it Rainbow Three? Yeah, Rainbow Three when they're training the Islams. For all we know, Rainbow was Bo Grits. But no, that's a bad joke. Jeez. But actually,
like, I'm just saying, like, for all the, like, Islamic people I know, they're just kind of normal, conservative, religious people.
I mean, that's where it starts. But the there's been all sorts of videos, people in Detroit that are chanting shit, all sorts of, bringing all sorts of ruckus, and it's like the Islams are like the Aramaic form of the Illuminati. I mean, it's the oldest form of it. Of course, from my understanding, the face of Muhammad is just the three-faced Templar icon.
Like the Alex Gray thing.
Yeah, but without the psychedelic part. But like, and it was just a symbol of the past and the
Well,
present and the future.
They probably were psychedelic motherfuckers. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
Well, I mean,
I mean, I believe like in a religious aspect of it, where it's like literally people infected with like this hive mind, like Sophia consciousness, Christ consciousness, like flat Earth sickness. You know, that form like a master cult.
it's like there's definitely mental illness running rampant. And it's all it's all a conduit through these mystery school religions and stuff. It's like they exercise the insanity out of people and get them to externalize it on the world.
But like, I got a buddy who's like the most like materialistic atheist motherfucker I know, and like I mean, this guy is so hardcore. Like he would like go to McDonald's and like argue with an old lady that said "God bless you" if he sneezed.
No, that seems kind of over it, the top.
I mean, this guy's like a hardcore atheist. Like, oh, you're a dumb motherfucker if you believe in anything spiritual. You fucking dumb. You know.
Yeah, I had a
But
friend
then
like that. We
he's
tripped.
willing to, or yeah.
Well, my friend gave us all trip, and we ate it, and me and my other friend were tripping our brains out with the dude that gave it to us, and and he was like, we seen all this crazy ghost shit, and then he never hung out again, and he was a hardcore atheist. And then he started a rumor that I knew black magic. But he was an atheist. It was
If
like,
he believes in black magic, then he's not an atheist.
well, he was sick. He was. I tested him once. I asked him a question. It was a very specific question because I knew that his brother was a drug addict, and I asked him. I was like, if you could save your brother's life by running in there and yanking the shit out of his arm and fucking save his life, I asked him, would you save your brother's life? And we were tripping our brains out, and he said no, that he wouldn't save his own brother's life in this theoretical situation, this ethical question that I was asking him, and that's when I knew it was like, this dude is fucked up. He wouldn't even save his own family. He's dark. I was like, this is fucking evil. I was like, how could somebody say such a thing? You know what I mean? Like, it was fucked up. Because I was just like, and this that dude's a fucking Marxist now. Fucking full out fucking Marxist piece of shit. That bastard.
Yeah, I mean, like my buddy Lucas I was talking about was like he's like hardcore like atheist materialist, and he's a big Star Trek fan, and that's his idea of like, oh, we're all gonna get together and have like a Star Trek utopia future,
The
you know.
Yeah, well, I mean, Star Trek was communist. They're all wearing the same fucking clothes.
Well, yeah. So the guy's a fucking commie. The guy's a goddamn commie. So then, like, I'm trying to point out, like, stuff like, okay, well, what about this? Like, we got the U.S. military or whatever. There was, like, complaints that military generals were saying, like, we're doing this war in Iran in order to bring about the Messiah or something. This is like a holy war, you know?
Nah, they're all just trying to. They're always pushing.
Well, they're trying to push that shit. They're trying to push that shit. But like, he's like an atheist and he hates religion.
Oh, he's pushing it. The atheist is pushing it.
Well, the atheist my friend I'm talking about, he like hates religion. And I'm like bringing up points of like, here's where like religion is actually a problem, where we're using religion as an excuse to go into war, and that's a legitimate reason to have a problem with religion. And he's like, well, no, like none of our officials have anything to do with that. Like, they're not using religion as a weapon. That's like a conspiracy theory. You know? And meanwhile, I'm the person who's religious and he's the atheist. He should be like attacking religion, using that as an excuse to attack religion.
Yeah, he doesn't. He probably doesn't study any religions.
He doesn't study the religion, so he doesn't even know the eschatological bullshit. Like, where like, oh, the Jews think there's going to be an end of the world, or they're going to have their Messiah. The Christians think they're going to have their Messiah, and the Muslims, like, it's kind of the same story, and they're all fighting each other.
Well, from my understanding, the story is just about a doorway opening of a ghost doorway or something, some kind of like ghost portal. And all the ghosts will come onto Earth or something.
But it doesn't matter your interpretation of it or my interpretation of it. What matters is that.
Well, I don't actually believe that. It's just what I was trying when I got into certain religions. I was like, this is interesting.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what we believe. It matters what the people who are like pulling the trigger, or like they could be religious fanatics.
Well, I think that Naked Archaeology show, Naked Archaeologist, he brings in this guy who does like some kind of heat imagery on the ground in Jerusalem, and it shows where there was a temple underneath the Roman temple, and that's where the Hebrews think their temple is, and that the dude who did that imagery, he was pointing at that wall, and he's like, there's treasure behind that wall. And it was like, whoa. Like
I mean, I got it right. I got it right over here. The fucking William Morgan book or whatever.
yeah.
Where he's talking about going down the 9 chambers or whatever the fuck, or the 13 chambers or however many it is, underneath Solomon's temple. Oh, Solomon's temple.
Yeah, the
Holy shit. And then we got Pete Hegseth, who's got the Temple of Jerusalem cross on his fucking chest, and he wrote a book called American Crusade.
well, he's probably just some kind of fanatic.
He's some kind of like Freemason Templar motherfucker that's like,
Well, I
we
mean,
want to.
I haven't seen.
You have to initiate the Third World War in order to blah 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 blah.
Well, I mean, I haven't seen any official, like member lists, or I haven't seen him wear any Masonic rings or anything. Any type of. I think he's just like a fan of Templar stuff from video games or something.
But I think that like the Freemasons, like that's one of the ways they get away with it, where they're like, oh well, that person's not actually officially affiliated with us because you can't prove it. But then like they're promoting the same bullshit. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, it reminds me of that Megadeth song, "Holy Wars." Brother will kill brother. Something.
Yeah, but like they're like putting like how I grew up. You know, I grew up like Protestant in like small town middle America, and like they were pushing this whole like dispensationalist like rapture theology and all this bullshit on us.
Yeah, that's just fanaticism.
They're pushing that shit on us, you know, and it's like I could have grown up and like rejected the faith altogether because it's like leading to fucked up shit happening in the world. But instead, I was just like, man, like it's easy to say that like, okay, if God exists, He wouldn't want us to like fuck up the world in order to summon Him.
Yeah, that's just some kind of weird.
Like that's clearly satanic. So like, if you're one of these people, who's like, we need to have war with the Middle East so that we can usher in Jesus or whatever, then you're like on the side of the Antichrist. So you're not even a real Christian at that point.
Well, I mean, like, does he admit it in his book, or does he? I mean, like you're just talking about generally speaking.
He's talking about in the book. He's more like using like geopolitical terms, but I've seen him in like interviews where he's like straight up saying like, "Oh, it's a miracle that this happened, and like it could be a miracle that we built the third temple or whatever." He's saying that stuff.
Oh, I mean, they're all. Well, they don't understand. It's all metaphorical and stuff.
Well, I know they don't understand it, but it doesn't matter if they understand it or not.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't think anything supernatural is going to happen if they build something there or anything.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying that the fact that like these people at this high level are like brainwashed by this like kind of Masonic bullshit, like the third temple, you know, like because it is like a Masonic thing. Like they're all about Solomon's temple. We got to build Solomon's temple.
Well, I mean,
And that's what the one world government is. That's what Bill Cooper was talking about. It's like the unfinished pyramid, like the Tower of Babel. We gotta
like the
have
Skull of Atlantis.
yeah, Atlantis. You know, I mean, it's not even like a Jewish thing. I'm not
It's
saying
Roman.
it's even a Jewish thing.
It's Plato's Republic is Francis Bacon's New Atlantis, and that's what's going on.
But they're using the like Christian and Jewish eschatology and the Muslim eschatology to like bring about this staged conflict, you know?
Well, I mean, like I think there's a lot of fucked up shit going on in the Middle East. Like all those documentaries had me convinced the Muslims were totally innocent, but then when my punk friend came back from Iraq or whatever country he went to, he was a medic, and he said that these Islam people were just going around, you know, kaboom, fucking, and that they were just fucking. He said it was the scariest shit he's ever seen, and that he couldn't take it anymore because he did 4 years there, and he was like, he seen so much bad shit. You know, he was fucked up from it, and it was pretty sad because he died in a motorcycle accident. But like that the the, I think some of those documentaries were made to make us think that the Islams didn't do 9/11. That the way they were made, such a high amount of input. You know, they all come out at the same time. Zeitgeist, Esoteric Agenda, Loose Change.
Well, Zeitgeist starts out with the 9/11 stuff, then it goes straight into like astrotheology, Jordan Maxwell bullshit.
Yeah.
You know?
Or they were teaching New Age religion. They taught it the same shit when the Luxor.
Yeah, Sabrina joined the thing. I want to talk to Sabrina. I like Sabrina.
I'm gonna smoke this last joint and pass out. But so when the Luxor was first built by all those mafia people, they built it right across from the Sphinx or the lion, and that the that they had a tour that was the first 3 degrees of Freemasonry, where you walked through hallways or boat ride or some shit, and it showed on the scenery on the walls. You were given some kind of tour guide gave like a lecture, which they were initiated people into the New Age religion right in the casino.
They're out in the open now. They don't care. Like, it's not a secret. And then you want to.
Well, then they quit doing it, and it was like, well, why'd they quit doing it? Why? You know, it was interesting because it was like they always do stuff like that where they'll do something for a minute and then just quit. And it's like, oh, you know, people are catching on that there's something fishy going on. That
because they always have to have plausible deniability. So they'll like do like a disclosure, and then like you point it out, and then they'll be like, "Oh no, that's just one guy that said that. That doesn't represent the whole thing."
Well, it's like, what's the mafia doing? Building a pyramid with 33 levels that, and they're paying money to initiate people into the degrees of Freemasonry. What is their motive behind that?
Like, I watched this one recently. It's like this Tim Hogan guy on Danny Jones or something. This is a year ago, and I was surprised. I just found it now, but like it's videos uploaded a year ago. It's this guy Tim Hogan on the Danny Jones podcast, and he's like basically he's like claiming to be like some high level Templar, and like I believe him, you know. I don't think he's making that up. but he's like basically just knitting all the shit that like people like me who like are criticizing the Freemasons about.
Yeah. Does he have
Uh,
rings or books or anything that he shows, or
do I?
no? Does the guy that claimed to be a Templar got any rings or books or anything, or does he wear any like a keystone
Well, I
necklace
don't know.
or?
I I don't know about that, but like people in the comments were like talking about like, oh yeah, I went to a conference with him or whatever. I'm also 33, and none of the comments were like negative. It was all like people like, oh man, this guy's preaching the real gospel, like Egyptian like Atlanta shit is so true, you
Yeah.
know. Uh,
Yeah, they're
and like
most of them are bad.
he's talking about some crazy shit like saying that it like the Ark of the Covenant was like some Egyptian magic where they're using Ormus to like build hovercrafts, and that's why in the ritual about like
Yeah, they
they're
don't
gonna
understand archaeology.
they're gonna take a boat to or like a ship to Ethiopia in the Masonic ritual. It's like, well, they wouldn't have been able to have a. There was no water between there, so how would they get there by ship? It's because it must be an airship, and it was like Ormus, and they were using UFOs and shit. You know, like, fuck you,
They go
motherfucker.
into a bunch of retarded shit. Yeah, the pyramids were just the holes that you look through. It
It
was
wasn't Atlantis. It wasn't no
well, it was
fucking magic
it
shit.
was to see the stars during the day. That's the purpose. I mean, that's all it was to do. It's like a telescope, but simply to see the stars during the day. If
Well,
you
I mean,
like,
like, the guy's full of shit. The guy's full of shit. The whole purpose of his podcast on a major podcast that a lot of people are going to listen to was that he was trying to defunk Christianity. Like, oh, that's just like a silly myth, and like actually, it's all about all this like weird esoteric shit, you know. And then
yeah,
and then he's like talking about like fucking well, the Templar Order, like we actually have the bones of Jesus Christ, like in a fucking vault, and we're gonna release it.
yeah,
You
he's
know,
probably just making shit up.
he's
Yeah,
making shit up.
yeah. There's I caught Mark Passio pretending to be a fake Satanist or pretending to be an ex-Satanist. The
Well, like even if they did supposedly have the bones of Christ, how are they gonna like prove that? You know.
yeah, they definitely don't. I mean, there's all sorts of people that claim they got all sorts of shit.
But it was like, oh, it's the Merovingian kingdom, and like Jesus and Mary Magdalene had the bloodline of the whatever fuck.
Yeah, I've seen the closest thing I've seen that I think was real was there was this video of Ethiopia where there was these like metal plates that were some kind of food dishes or something, and the Ethiopians were saying that they were from the time of Jesus, and that I think they definitely were because the way they were shaped and conditioned and how crude they were. You know, everybody thinks certain ancient shit's gonna be all spectacular or something, but it's gonna be really crude. You know, like fucking like how they found that piece of a lead cross in the Oak Island show. It's like you know, like a crude lead cross. I think that piece is the piece of an arm of a crucifix. That, but like, the well, it's interesting because it's like there's stuff that's esoteric that's not Masonic or any religion, and it's about the Bible where the donkey in multiple stories, the donkey in one story saves a bunch of people, in another story, the donkey brings in death or something, or the donkey saves people from death or some shit from Sodom and Gomorrah. Then the other one, the Jesus rides in on a donkey or some shit. There's some kind of esoteric thing with that where talking about uh like the the God of good and the God of destruction kind of. I mean, it's the same God, but it's it's interesting. It's because they were all calendar people. The Terrence McKenna has a phrase. He says the wizard was a calendar maker, and that their obsession with the calendars and their obsession with prophecies on destruction. That I think that they were, according to some of the Masonic books, that they were predicting meteorite showers and earthquakes and shit in the future. And like I think it's worth investigating because nobody's ever fully deciphered the Revelations book. They think it's about literal kingdoms and stuff, but from my understanding, it's about the bringing back of one of the great destroyers of the land, which is Abaddon, and that the and that I think it's a prediction of some kind of meteorological event or something, some kind of dangerous thing from outer space.
You know about like preterism or whatever?
Praetor, like Praetor.
No, Preter or Preter. Preterism,
I don't think I'm familiar.
where people believe that Jesus, because there's like a verse where he's like saying like none of you will taste death before the return or whatever, before I return.
Yeah,
So like the idea is that Jesus came back in 70 AD,
yeah,
and that the book of Revelations was talking about a regional conflict, and it was all fulfilled in 70 AD, and
oh, interesting.
that the people who are fear mongering and talking about end of the world now, the only reason they're doing it now is because they're trying to deceive even the elect or whatever, like they're trying to like trick people to go along with it because they think like, oh, it's prophecy, so
Yeah,
like we should help the Antichrist get into power because
yeah, it's
that would
all
be better.
perversion
Then
of
Jesus will
reality.
come back. But like,
Yeah,
if you're
it's
if
all
you're
crazy.
a serious like Christian, you would like say like, well, would God want us to support the Antichrist?
Well, from my
No,
understanding, the verse for the Antichrist is just a word that meant like anything that looked like
against Christ.
Jesus but wasn't. Well, it was an imitation of, but it didn't lack the same qualities, or it didn't have the same qualities.
Yeah, but it's not like a singular Antichrist. It's not like a specific figure.
Yeah,
It's just
it's all.
anybody who's going against the Christian message. It would be an Antichrist. You know.
Yeah, it's just like a symbol of to be against Christianity, but to look like it.
And that describes a lot of like modern Christianity,
Yeah, well, that's why I was bringing up the 3 days, 3 nights thing. 'Cause it's like if they were to say there's only gonna be one sign of Jesus, and it's 3 days, 3 nights, the sign of Jonah, and all the religions aren't practicing a religion that has 3 days, 3 nights, then it's like, how are they practicing the correct religion if the equation doesn't fit the bill? You know what I mean?
So you're trying to disqualify Jesus because like a technicality, like it's
Well,
supposed
no,
to be.
no, no. Well, I know a Greek lady uh that she's some kind of Orthodox Greek, but it's different than the mainstream one, and they practice their Easter on starting Wednesday night or something, Wednesday afternoon when they, and then to Saturday at like 1 in the morning, Friday night. Like they start at midnight and then go on to like 5 in the morning or something, and then that and Saturday morning. And so they're they have the 3 days, 3 nights technically. The Greeks, certain Greeks do, and it's like
Well, I don't really care what the churches practice. I mean, I go by what is truth to me, like from like reading all this crap, and I've read like so much Freemason bullshit. More so than I've read the Bible. Honestly, I probably know more about Freemason crap than I do about the Bible.
well, a lot of their stuff is about the Bible. I mean, trick
But
question.
like, I just kind of reject their interpretation of it, and that's kind of what made me more like I think like Christianity is correct because it is the opposition to this like weird like consciousness cult like
Yeah, I mean that
bullshit.
the consciousness stuff is all. It seems to be more modern. The I think that the in the ancient philosophical sense, it was like they were just trying to make people pure of heart, and that's all it was about. And that even like the initiatory schools of the Essenes and stuff, it was all about being pure of heart. Where they copied the Essenes in the movie Fight Club because they had the people waiting on the porch of the temple or whatever, and that fucking the Essenes, you had to wait on the porch for 5 years to before you could become an Essene. And because they were scribes and uh you know they were writing books, and it was like a secret book club.
Yeah, but Jesus was talking against that stuff. That's why I think Jesus is the truth because like he's talking shit on all that stuff. But their new thing, I've seen a lot of like Freemasons because I debate them a lot.
Oh, there's Freemasons on. Are they real or are they posers? Because there's a lot of fake
Well,
ones, I
there,
noticed.
there's ones I know in real life, and then there's ones that there's this guy on Facebook called like Fraternal Ties,
Yeah.
and it's like he makes like Masonic merch and sells it.
Hmm. Yeah, he's
Like,
probably just trying to bank out. Seems kind
but
of.
like he's like engaging with people.
But it seems like.
He's engaging with people of like I'll comment on something and like he's like trying to like prove me wrong or something, but they're lying. I know that they're lying because I've read their fucking books. You know, so
Well, I
it's
mean,
like you're fucking lying. You're fucking lying,
well, they
and
don't.
like
Well, they don't.
even if they're right, like let's pretend that they're right. Why do they gotta lie to me? That's fucked up.
Well, they don't understand that Freemasonry is something superimposed over their religion, and that they think they're still practicing their religion, but it's actually a transmutated version of their religion that's not
It's
even.
not. It's not like you can't be a Christian, you can't be a Muslim, you can't be a Jew and a Freemason.
Yeah, it's not compatible. It's and that's where all the people get confused because they're like, "Oh, this person's that religion," but they don't understand that they're all Masons. And it's like, well, they're all Masons, so it doesn't matter what their religion is because they practice something superimposed over their own religion and
So
continue to.
whenever people are like shitting on Christianity, that's my comeback to them is like well, you're not really criticizing the message of Jesus. You're criticizing like what the fucking Masons have corrupted it into, you know?
Well, I mean, like, there's modern Gnosticism is definitely something that was engineered towards some kind of India religion. The I think the ancient Gnosticism was basically just simply about a symbol of Jesus and the crucifixion story being a creation story, a symbolic creation of the universe, where the God is crucified in the universe, and that we live in the universe in the God. That because they would always draw the universe like a person, the shape of a person, and then they would have the signs on them, and then to some of the esoteric stuff, the crucifixion was different, where it was like simply about conquering the seven deadly sins, or no, the regular sins, or to not sin or whatever. Uh, conquering the lower natures and the
Well, the whole
moon.
idea, like you know that clip where it's like the guy like I am Lucifer. It's like a
Yeah,
Shiner, and he's
he's
like
part of
I
that.
am pure and virtuous and wholesome and innocent.
Yeah, he's part of the serious one of the serious cults. The
But it's
Shriner stuff.
that's what you really believe. If you believe that you're pure and virtuous and wholesome and innocent, then that's fucked up. And I don't care what religion you are or whatever. Like nobody's perfect, man. And that, like if you
Well,
are if you are a Christian, you would acknowledge that you're imperfect. You know.
well, when you trace their religion, check the book Lost Light by Alvin Boyd Kuhn, page 333. They admit that to them Lucifer is Jesus and is God and
Oh,
is
I know
Satan.
that. I know that, man. I read that book.
Yeah, it's really
Well,
interesting.
but that's what they believe. That's what they believe. But it's like if you're believing that
Well, they
Jesus is
pervert Christianity.
Lucifer, believing Jesus is Lucifer, and you stand above the black and the white. You're like above it all. You're
Yeah.
just like putting yourself on a pedestal and saying that you're your own God. And I think that's the greatest sin of all. Like if you're a real truth seeker, if you're real, you care about the world, you care about like being subservient to God, like real God that exists, then
Yeah.
you would
Well, I don't believe the Jesus Lucifer thing. But
you would you would you'd humble yourself. You would like admit like I'm wrong if I'm wrong, you know? You
well, I
wouldn't
mean,
try to like,
to,
oh man, I'm so smarter than everybody else is profane and all this shit.
well, to them, they don't even believe in a God. It's like imagine to the Masonic stuff. It's like a way to turn someone into an atheist with the symbolic beliefs that.
And that's what I experienced when I looked into it, you know? Was like where it was like it did kind of fuck with my faith for a while because like it was like they're talking about those astrotheology and all this
I
shit.
mean, if you were to throw all everything aside and just define God, quote unquote, I would just define it as the creator of the universe. You know that's and that basically the theory is that the creator of the universe is a conscious being that somehow made himself and made the universe. I mean, that's how the story goes. I mean, you can that fits with Old Testament stuff, with all different religions, even like tribal stuff, Egyptian stuff. The gods spoke the word, and then the word made the universe. It's interesting because, like,
But all the Masonic stuff, it like starts out with like like Nimrod and Tower of Babel, and like we're trying to defy God and become our own gods or whatever. You know what I mean?
what's
Like
like what,
Bill Cooper, like
what's
the
it?
first episode of the fucking Mystery Babylon, where he's talking about
Yeah,
2001: A Space Odyssey. It's like the apes. They found like the penis symbolism, and then they
the
developed
spell.
fire or whatever.
Yeah.
And
So
Prometheus, Lucifer.
the
You know,
what was I gonna say? Aiming Stone.
but does the average Blue Lodge Mason know about that aspect of it, or are they just like, oh, it's some stupid ceremony that I took part in? I have no idea what it means.
Well, I mean, it's complex. I mean, it's the first 2 degrees are the oath of the neck, the body cut in half of yourself from uh in the Masonic symbolism, and then what was it, the heart, and then but so it's like in the story, uh in the story, the the story goes different. This is more of an Aramaic story, which this is what the Templars brought, where it's like the god that was uh on Earth rebirthed the god of the universe. Well, the Jesus character rebirthed the god through Lazarus, and so Lazarus was the Old Testament God reborn, according to the Masonic lore, which is concealed in the Hiram Abyss story. They concealed it because it was a misunderstanding, because it was like the Persians and the Aramaics, they already had this story, and the widow's son story. The widow's son is Jesus, born from a woman who has no husband, uh, and that there wasn't a word
That,
in the
that wouldn't
language.
that wouldn't that wouldn't make her a widow.
Well, there wasn't a word in the language, an adjective to describe it properly. This is very typical in cultures where when a story gets passed over, mistranslation of the story happens because of the cultural
But
misunderstanding of language.
how much of the mistranslation results from like people like doing revisionist history after
Well,
the fact?
it's interesting though, because in the story, like the archaeologist dude on Naked Archaeology, he thinks the beloved disciple of Jesus was James' son or something weird. But like, I think that the beloved disciple of Jesus was Lazarus, and that Lazarus was, uh, the new name that Lazarus received in the Book of Revelations with the keystone, was the name John, or in Greek Ion, Ion, similar to Eon, Eion. Uh,
Elon Musk.
well, no, like time, but in the story that one of the initiates has said that he would never die or some shit. I don't remember which Bible verse what it was, but I think it was talking about John in Revelations, and that the original Rosicrucian, before it got tampered with by Illuminist doctrine of strange blood stuff, that it was about John of Revelations, in some kind of symbolic, uh symbolic grave of John of Revelations where it was seven sided, and that it had three symbolic books that were people claim they found them and stuff, but I think those are fabrications because the books are symbolic. But like it's like part of the Templar story is untold because of the loss of translation of tarot cards, and the tarot cards are
Yeah, I mean, well, I think like that's like I think the tarot and all that is like an extension of
well
the like
think about
Babylonian shit.
well
Like,
well the seventh card's supposed to be Jesus, but so is the first or the zero card. But then the zero card's also the last card. But like this in the story though, it's like if there was some kind of end of the world type scenario, it's like there's this verse right at the end of Revelation talking about new world or something, and
well, you're looking at it from that
well, I'm not saying I
perspective.
believe that. I'm
You're
just
looking at it from that perspective that it's like an end of the world prophecy, which it was never
I
intended to
mean it
be.
was well according to Cooper. Cooper had this weird thing where it's like there was this thing about I don't remember who said it, but it was about uh, mixing of all cultures, and that Cooper brings up some weird Jesus verses where he's talking about mixing tribes of people together to make like so then there's no violence against anybody or there's no differentiation because everybody's
So that's what the Tower of Babel story is about.
well that's what in the 68th convocation of the Rosicrucian book they write about that they want people to all be one people, and that I don't know if they mean well the Rosicrucians are writing literally, and then the I don't know if the American Rosicrucians are writing literally like the European ones are writing literally, but I don't know if the American ones are writing literally.
Well, I mean, I've read some of these Rosicrucian books, like Max Heindel and shit, and I mean, they're fucking schizos, man.
Yeah, they're definitely
They're mixing things with their
like
religions where it's like, and that's the one thing that pisses me off about Freemasons is that they won't admit that they're just like mixing religions together. Like, oh
well some of it's I think that some of it's interesting because it's like one of the Masons that goes against all the other Masons, the church ward guy, he thinks that
well, Church.
he wrote Arcana of Freemasonry. He thinks that the
Yeah.
Jesus story is older than 2,000 years. He thinks it was like three or well, he says some crazy number, but
Well, they try to connect it to like Mithras and like or whatever, like some Egyptian
well, no,
shit.
he was connected it to some Mayan shit. Uh, and that there was a Mayan depiction where it was like some dude crucified with a spear in the side, and it was like the oldest depictions of Jesus, he doesn't have a beard, and that if someone was 33 or 32 or something, and that they would have a beard typically, but if they were Mayan, they wouldn't have a beard, and that the oldest depictions of Jesus and stuff, he's got a shaved head and no beard, and that he's darker
Yeah,
complexion.
but why
Uh,
should we, especially whenever in the Jewish Bible or whatever, the Torah, right? It forbids, and that's the reason why the Muslims they still forbid like depictions of Allah or depictions of Muhammad.
well, I think that's just because the three-faced symbol is the original symbol is
But like, I
fixed
mean,
in
like
iron.
in the Old Testament where it talks about not making idols or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe that like, and like, so I don't really like using pictures of Jesus at all because like we don't have a photograph of Jesus.
Well, I mean, there's a
There's
lot of
no,
stuff.
there's no photograph of Jesus, so like any kind of depiction of Jesus is wrong.
Well, I mean, the modern religions all go against all the ancient Hebrew laws and stuff. That was part of. That's where the Peter and Paul things with the plagues. It's like the philosophy of it, where it's like the Simcha Jacovici points out. He says about the ancient Hebrew stuff. He says it was some of the religion was made to keep a civilization where the neighbors aren't, like, jumping up your ass and shit, like the to keep peace, and the
Yeah, you talk about like a noble lie.
well, no, like the whole, well, some interesting stuff about the Aramaic stuff, because Nazir Nazir is prince, and I forget the word for peace, but it says Prince of Peace, and then there was I forget how the etymology goes. I'm pretty sure it led to Shar Salom, but the which peace of God or something. But like what was I mean, the story is interesting 'cause it's like the like in the story Jesus is born, and then the three symbols of the Eastern religions of India, the three Mir and the other ones, they all recognize this new Prince of Peace through the sign of the Star of Bethlehem, and that they bow down their religions to him, and so they're saying that.
Well, is
Uh,
that well? Okay, it's like the Order of the Eastern Star,
no, like the ancient Hindu, the
but,
Mir.
but like if it would have been people from the East, if it would have been like the wise men from the East, they wouldn't have been looking at an Eastern Star. They would have been looking at a Western Star.
Well, no, I'm not saying the Star was in the East. That the people bringing the Mir and stuff were from the East, and that
They're from the East.
yeah, they seen the symbol as a sign. If you're taking it as a literal story, they seen the symbol as a sign of the Prince of Peace, and so they came to bring the mirror and
They
stuff in
came to the West.
adoration. They went to Jerusalem or wherever Jesus was born at, or whatever. But like well, then it becomes a question of what is the Star of Bethlehem, and that's where it gets interesting, because it's like the whole concept of anti-Christos and stuff, because technically the Star of Bethlehem is serious also, but like the whole anti-Christos thing, it all is spun around this. It's
Well,
like
I
one of
don't
those.
know. I don't know how much of the Bible that I want to take is literal and how much is like metaphorical. I think most of it is metaphorical,
Yeah,
but there is literal truth in it as well.
yeah. I mean,
But but like whenever we have like the Freemasons, where they're all about looking towards the east and traveling to the east, you know.
yeah. That's where that Churchward guy in the Arcane of
They're
Freemasons.
talking about. They're talking about. They think like the origin of religion, the true religion, is like Hinduism or something. You know,
Well, no,
like go.
they're symbolically seeing they're
The
symbolically
West, the West is corrupt, and
well, well,
we have
no,
to
no,
go back to
so
Eastern.
their secret is that they believe that consciousness came from the star Sirius, and the star Sirius is the fruit from the tree from the serpent from the Garden of Eden, and that they believe in a symbol way, and that the Satanists believe the same thing but in a different manner, where it's like they're they show that what they believe in their symbol with the Baphomet or whatever, the false Baphomet,
Yeah,
my,
but like if you're a Christian or a Jew or a Muslim, you can't believe in that.
well they've got all the atheists believing in something without knowing that they're believing in it. Where
Exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. The
well,
atheist.
hold on, the statue of the goat, the goat's got the symbol of a caduceus coming out of its crotch, and they're saying that the fruit is the generative
The
is sex.
DNA, the
Well,
DNA, it's your
they're
pet
talking about sex. That it's a sex cult. That
because like you're gonna die and you're not gonna go on to an afterlife of any
well,
kind.
no, they think
The
that
only thing that matters is to fuck a bitch and get her pregnant.
well, they think that they think that God, quote unquote, is the sexual act. That and it's the total opposite with the Luciferians, where they think the mind is God, and so they think the consciousness is God, and that's why they think the fruit from the that's what Satanism is they think their consciousness is a symbol from a star, and that, like the Disney wish upon a star. But like the the
Uh,
they're well, I mean, it's all like a weird psychological thing that
well, I mean, I'm not like superstitious, you know.
well,
Uh,
I've traced it to the Hindu secret societies of India. I've traced it to the Hashashin in India, like 100%. And it's you gotta look at it like India's got 1/3 of the population of Earth, and that in ancient times their cultures were way more advanced because they had such denser populations, and so they developed more advanced forms of trickery, and that's where these secret societies are coming from, these advanced forms of trickery, where it's like the
yeah, but
great
I don't
well
believe I don't believe that like all religion is like a just a psyop from like ancient.
no, I'm not saying that. I'm talking about the Grand Orient Lodge of France, the Grand Orient Lodge of Russia, the Grand Orient Lodge of India. The Grand Orient. See, it's like Crowley calls his cult the Templo Orientis,
Orientals.
yeah, which means Orient, and that he's practicing a Grand Orient Hindu sex cult, and
But
which
that doesn't mean that like as long as you're part of the Grand Lodge of England then you're fine. But it's
well,
only the French
they're
lodges.
England is practicing the British Israelism, where they think the Aryan race is the true quote unquote tribe of Judah because
Yeah,
of
but both of them are a problem.
it was
Like
all just
I don't.
well, that was made up from where the king wanted a divorce. He just made up and said he was related to King David,
But
which is not.
I understand that as like a non-Mason who's like studied this shit. I understand that. But
Well, I
like
mean,
when I talk to a Mason, they will like try to like pretend like everything associated with French Masonry is like not like they don't have a charter from the Grand Lodge of England.
they're practicing Illuminism. Their degrees go up to the 45th at minimum. That according to John J. Robison, the Proofs of Conspiracy. I think the Crowley stuff. I think Crowley learned the stuff from the French Grand Orient, or
Of
the
course he did. Of course he did. But it's like a dialectic thing where it's like, oh well, the Yorkite are the good guys. We're Christians, and like it's the Scottish Rite and the Grand Orient that are the bad guys, and we have nothing to do with them. So you can't criticize us.
they don't understand that it's all been. There was a manifesto or some shit in 1782 where they basically said that the Blue Lodge, the Scottish Rite, the Swedenborg Lodge, the fucking Mizraim Lodge, they unified all the lodges, so they're all the same doctrine, and that which
And it's Luciferianism. It's Satanism, man.
well, it's that's there. I've well, I've got friends that are 32 degree Masons. And they're just regular, people, and there's
I got friends. I mean, like
no,
my
they're
neighbor.
not.
My
That guy,
neighbor.
the
My
guy that's a
neighbor
Schreiner.
is Mason, right?
Well,
My
yeah,
my neighbor is a Mason, and like for a while I had my power shut off. He like lent me his like solar light so I could have like some light in my house when I had my power shut off for a while. You know,
yeah.
like I mean, like they're not bad people. Like at like a individual level, I have no
But what
problem with
I'm
that.
what I'm getting at before I pass out is that I've got friends that are Masons that believe in God and stuff, and they don't believe it in any sort of Luciferian way like that Schreiner guy. And then I've also gotten old people who are Masons to admit that they believe that Jesus was Lucifer, but then I've also got my fingers a Mormon and a 36 degree Mason, and he doesn't believe anything like that. And so I found all these different 50 shades of Freemasonry, basically, where it's like trying to analyze what these people believe and stuff, pretending to be a Mason, and that they were that there's it seems like I mean, Cooper talks about it where it's like a lot of it's like the Illuminism moved through things, and then once it kind of used it up, it just kind of went to something new, and that the uh the Masons are part of a collective thing, but it's interesting because they're warning of dark things, and that even Henry Clausen to Clymer to Leadbeater, all these people, they're New Agers, but they're also warning of some kind of dark occult.
Yeah, I mean, Leadbeater was a fucking pedophile, dude.
Well, I don't know too much about him, but I know he's a cultist. But they're. Well, my point though, they're warning. Everybody thinks that those are the bad, the worst of the worst, but then the high occultists are literally warning of a very dark occult order that uh and I think that's very interesting because it's like if they're bad already and they're warning about something even worse, what the fuck are they warning about? No, I gotta pass out. I'm freaking out.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, like they do, like sometimes, and I think a lot of like Alex Jones, I think is probably Freemason. Like a lot of these people are, man.
It's definitely possible.
Uh,
I mean,
so a
they're
lot of like even like Bill Cooper, he like said he was like in Demolay Society or whatever.
well, Demoloy is just you tap three
That's like a
times on the
youth
wrist.
organization.
You shake your hand like that, tap three times on the person's wrist. And that means it's a symbol of the three knocks. Uh, the that yeah, I gotta pass out here.
All right,
Like a
all
million
right.
drinks. All right, well, take it easy. It was cool hanging out.
Yeah, man. But I was gonna say real quick though, but like what I called in to tell you
Oh,
was
yeah.
that when you changed your name on here to Clint A, like the Aeon Eastwood,
Yeah.
that makes you harder to search up
Oh, yeah. Well, I was
because
trying to
no,
get it to get back into the, because I thought the other name was. Well, I still haven't decided what I should change it to.
well, third world assassin, you can type that with normal characters, but like if somebody's gonna search up your channel,
I had people saying that they couldn't
they're
find
not
the
gonna
channel.
figure out how to do the special character, the AE thing.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean it's. Well, I mean it's. I don't expect my channel's gonna really go anywhere or anything.
But
Yeah.
you should have like fucking like thousands of views on your show because the amount of
Oh yeah. Well, I
shit
mean
you're
I've
talking about.
literally seen the numbers on the screen and then seen them all changed within hours. Literally subscriber counts, view counts, all sorts of shit. I've seen the shenanigans. I've watched shenanigans been going on since like 2012. Like all the comments being fucked with, all the because back in like 2010, all the comments got erased, and then only certain comments were left, and then fucking just all sorts of shit. And then you can no longer respond your video to someone else's video. Like I don't know, it was just a bunch of. If you even say the word communism or anything, that you're
Yeah, I mean, obviously they censor people, but I'm just saying like putting like a special character like the AE thing is like making you harder to search up.
oh yeah. Well, I mean, you can just subscribe and send the link.
I mean, I do subscribe, man.
Oh, okay. Well, I would worry about the. I'm not trying to get famous or anything. Fucking the what does it say? Yeah, the yeah, freaking I think the best way to. Well, I gotta pass out, so. All right, well, take it easy.
All right, man.
All right,
Well,
peace.
like I appreciate what you're doing, man.
All right, take it easy. Smoke more weed.